You in the back, pay attention. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Tuesday morning for me. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Oh, I forgot to change the title. Hang on. Did I change it? No, I did change it. I did change the title. Folks, let's try that again. First try. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. Captain Coder here, coming at you through the power of this camera, through the power of this mic. You can hear me. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. What are we doing today, folks? We got the whole crew here with us. Thank you guys so much for being here. What are we doing? What's happening today? Welcome to Data Structures and Algorithms Tuesday. Today we're going to be exploring graph-based data structures. I guess I should call it a node, graph node, whatever. There's this idea of a graph in computer science. We're going to be talking about a graph data structure today, how we can connect things there. Turns out graphs can be used to solve all sorts of problems, but I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Mooniz, thank you for being here, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful morning, afternoon, I think, evening. I don't know. What time is it out there in the Swiss Alps? In the Swiss Alps, Mooniz, folks. He's from the Swiss Alps. On the Mars, not just not the Swiss Alps in the United States, the Swiss Alps out on Mars. Moon is originally from the moon, moved to the Mars. He's moved to Mars. He's not a Martian. He's a moon. He's a Mooniz. Mooniz moved to Mars. Lives in the Swiss Alps on Mars. Mooniz, how is the weather out there? It might take him a little bit of time to reply though, because there's a little bit of a delay. Because of, the distance from Earth to Mars. But Mooniz, thank you for being here. Corpless as well. Thank you for being here, my friend. Corpless, how the heck have you been? How are things going? We also got Sigian. Sigian, thank you so much for being here, folks. Sigian's my 1,000 follower. Sigian, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Happy to have you. We got Doshi Games. I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. And then Way Heavy. Is that how we pronounce it? Way Heavy. Thank you for following me today. Way Heavy, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy to have you here. Wavy. Well, let me try that again. Let's rewind. Wavy. Oh, Wavy. I'd like to welcome you to the crew today. Wavy, thank you so much for following, folks. Wavy just started his game dev adventures out there. Wavy, I'm so excited to see you doing some Unity stuff. I'm excited to see what you're working on, see what you're creating. Overgrown Carrot, thank you so much for popping in, hanging out with us a little bit. I appreciate you being here with us. And then we got the little cousin. Thank you for being here. I'm doing absolutely fabulous, my friend. Beautiful Tuesday. Any day I can wake up and code with the crew is a beautiful day, my friends. Any day I can wake up and code is a beautiful day. We also got the Coding Chemist, my favorite username, Coding Chemist. I love the alliteration. Let's see, Dragon Spirit Games is with us as well. Dragon Spirit, thank you so much for taking the time to pop in. We appreciate you being here, my friend. We appreciate you being here on this beautiful Tuesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day out there in the world. Hope you're having a beautiful day out there in the world. Yes, and then we also got Dragon. Oh, sorry. Did I say Dragon Spirit Games? Did I say welcome? Thank you for popping in. I think that's who I was talking to just now. G, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're doing the best. I hope you're doing the best you possibly could be doing, given any circumstance that might be circumstancing. And Smab, I'm so glad you can make me. I love XKCD. I've been loving XKCD for a long time. We're talking about graphs today. It turns out trees are a little bit of a subset of a graph. Maybe we should talk about trees and heaps instead. I love this joke. It's a Christmas tree with a heap of presents underneath. So the data structure. There's a data structure called a tree, and there's a data structure called a heap, and there's a data structure called a stack, and there's a data structure called a queue, and it's all sorts of data structures. Kovalaki, welcome back, my friend. Happy to have you here on this beautiful Tuesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Little cousin says, you must be the best teacher I've ever met in my life. Well, I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that compliment. I appreciate you being here. Look, you must be the best little cousin I've ever met. You're the best little cousin I ever met. Corvus says, news, 22 to 65 test cases for assignment, deadline in Thursday at 4 p.m. local. Does that mean you got 43 left? You got 43 left? You got 43 left to finish. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the coding hood. A beautiful day in the Corflist, I believe you, my friend. I believe in you. I believe in you. You believe in me. You can finish those test cases. Moon is happy Monday. Weather over here is great. It's raining lava and snowing upwards from the ground. Classic Monday weather. And I forgot my umbrella. Hope you're doing great. I'd send you an umbrella. I'd send you an umbrella, but I don't got one. I'm sorry. I don't got an umbrella for you, my friend. I don't got an umbrella for you. So happy to have you all here with us. If I ever... Look, folks. Look. Captain Coder's been trying to get a little bit more focused. Did I... hang on. Did I change... Hang on. It's not Community Showcase. I forgot to change this text here. Hang on. We got to change this text. This text is today. Data structures and algorithms. Graphs. You know you love them. And then I got to put an exclamation point. Love them. AMA. WAT. Just so people... Yeah, look, I'm trying to be a little better at streaming. There we go. Center that bad boy. Get it nice and centered there on this screen. Let's go and shrink that up a little bit. Quantum Bolt. Quantum Bolt, welcome to the family, my friend. Welcome to the crew. Quantum Bolt, do 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 do. Quantum Bolt, do 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 do. Quantum Bolt, do 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 do. Quantum Bolt, Quantum Bolt. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy to have you here. I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope you're ready for some data structure and algorithm Tuesday. Yeah. So we're gonna hop in here. I created a project here for us in C#. Talk about a graph. What the heck is a graph? What is a graph? Who knows? Who knows what a graph is? It's Quantum Bolt Phantom Footage. I was thinking of Quantum Leap. What a cool name, Quantum Bolt. I was thinking of Quantum Leap was a TV show that I don't remember anything about. I just remember it was on TV and I remember liking it. But I guess I didn't like it enough to actually ever watch it again as an adult, unlike some other shows. So I don't know how I feel about it. Ooh, knocked some stuff on my desk. That's okay. Let's talk, what is a graph? Let's talk about what is a graph here for a second. We're gonna try and implement the graph, see if we can figure out graph. Hang on, let me get my watch. Hang on, folks. Are you ready for this? Let's get my Remarkable up and chugging along here. I should have done this first. Dragon Spirit Games Quantum Leap was pretty cool. It was one of the first shows ever with parallel universes. I do remember enjoying it. The Remarkable is how else am I going to draw on my screen, Corpless? Cousin is ready, sir. Let's go. It's okay. Spell it. Look. Dragon Spirit Games. No one ever said you had to spell things correctly. Maybe your English teacher did, but they didn't know. Everyone spells things wrong. Everybody smells things wrong sometimes. All right, one sec. Let's get this graphs. Bear with me. Are you bearing with me, folks? Are you grabbing that bearing with me while I get this set up for you? I apologize for the delay here. Let's get this presentation started. Also, I got my light's not on. Got to turn the light on. All right, here we go. Boop. Oop, boop. Where'd it go? Where'd it go, topologist? Welcome back to the stream, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. How we doing on this beautiful day, my friend? How the heck are you? Everyone smells things wrong, and sometimes we smell the wrong things. It's true. And sometimes we smell like the wrong things. Have you ever smelled like the wrong thing? Look, we had a whole conversation last time about the strangest smells. Who was it? I think Shiny asked, what is the strangest thing you've ever smelled? And it was beef plus shampoo. Beef plus shampoo is the strangest thing I've ever smelled. Keep in mind, it was shampoo, not real poo shampoo. All right, here we go. We got a remarkable up. I'm adjusting my desk. I need to get a slightly different setup. What kind of graphs are we talking about? Directed hypergraphs. We're talking about generic graphs to start out. Edges, ins and outs. Got the ins and outs. So we talked about mid-sentence. That coffee got me. I had to get it in my mouth, folks. You ever in the middle of a sentence and you just got to put some coffee in your mouth? You can't, your body's just like, you need this. There's nothing you can do. It's going to happen. Distron, I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Hello. All right. So we're not taught graph. Data structure. This is one of the in my mind, one of the most important. Is that why we are using graph paper today? Yes, Mab. I remember when I first started learning about graphs, I was like, you mean like a bar graph? A bar chart graph, you're gonna graph it out like this, have some bars, put something on your X and Y axes, right? Graphs? No, not that type of graph. Get out of here. We're gonna talk about the graph data structure. It's an abstract data structure, folks. Abstract data structure that we can use to think about. I can't tell you how important the graph data structure is in algorithms and computer science and stuff. It's so versatile. It's so well studied. There's so many things you can do with it for solving problems, reducing complex, that sort of thing. Wavy beef scented shampoo. Don't do it, my friend. You don't do it. Stop. All right. Must be quite late there, Distron. It's 5 a.m. 5:15 a.m. local time. 5 a.m. So look, I had on my computer, I have this little thing here that tells me what time people chat, so I can. It reminds me to say hello to people, cause look, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to be here. I want you to feel welcome. Audex, good afternoon, my friend. 5:13 a.m. here. Let's bring that over here. Pump that up. Gotta pump it up. All right, we're gonna talk about the graph data structure. The basic idea of a data. We are being tracked. Topologist. No, it's for a little bit, but it's for me. It's for me, topologist, because one time I didn't say hello to someone and I felt so bad. It hurt their feelings so bad that I didn't say hello. So I try to keep that up so I can remember to say hello. That said, folks, I'm not going to remember everything. I might miss someone, and I guess I just got to get used to that. All right. So the idea with a graph data structure is it's a way to represent connected data. It's a way to represent how data is connected to each other, how people are connected, or not necessarily people, how things are connected to each other. So imagine a scenario where you want to graph. The simplest one, I say graph. You want to represent. A series of. This is the one I like to use. We're going to create a text adventure game. And you want to represent locations that are connected to each other. Represent locations next to each other. This is my favorite. This is where I end up using graphs all the time. And in fact, I often have my students implement this. And then we talk about graphs, and I've had students be like, oh, that's like what we did with the text adventure. So what we did I always call it Adventure Quest when we do text adventures, but there's that coffee sneaking into my mouth, and I couldn't stop. All right, so the idea is you might strat. Let's change that. I should say start. You have your start room. So this is where the player starts. All right, so this could be like your intro screen. Hang on. Intro screen. So you might use this to represent how you map out how things are connected in a game. All right, so you have your start, and then someone types something, and they're going to eventually, all right, so then they come over here, and they're in a town. Okay, so they're in a town, and from the town, they have some choices. All right, they can go to a forest. they can go to a crypt, and they can exit the game. Exit the game like that. From the forest, they can go to the crypt. From the crypt, they can go to the forest. From the forest, they can go back to the town. From the crypt, they can go back to the town. From the forest, they can go to, what's a place? A pub. I like it. They can go to a pub. All right. This is the forestly pub, the pub of the forest. The pub of the forest. The pub has, you can get back to the forest. The pub has a secret exit that goes to the crypt, but you can't go from the crypt to the pub. It's a one directional. This is unidirectional, so this would be called a directed thing. And so we have this idea of these are in graph theory. In graph world, we call the circles nodes. Nodes. That's the circle. In this case, they are locations. They don't always have to be locations. And then we have edges. Edges. These are the arrows. These are the arrows, paths you can take. And it turns out this data structure is super versatile. You can unlock all kinds, I read unlock. You can represent all kinds of different types of data using this data structure. And like I said, it's well studied, so there's a lot of algorithms you can apply to it. There's a lot of algorithms you can apply to it. You can, all right. So what's another example of how we do this? Let's imagine one of the ones that is super common is a map. So let's have a map. All right. So we have intersections. So map of the city. Map of the city. What would be our edges and what would be our nodes? Edges, nodes. What are the edges? What are the nodes? If we're trying to map out a city, anybody have a guess? If we're gonna map a city, what would be our edges? What would be our nodes? What is it? What is it? All right. Are the edges and lines drawn between nodes? Distron, that's right. Edges would, Wavy is saying edges would be locations. Walmart, that's an idea. That's one way. Oh, hang on, maybe they would be the roads. Edges, okay. Edges could be roads. All right, edges. Let's start edges. Roads. All right. Nodes, what about nodes? Nodes, someone suggested destinations. All right. Nodes could be intersections. Is it Jaguvari? Sorry, Hagu. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Nodes could be intersections. I really like that, intersections. All right, excellent ideas here. They could be intersections, they could be destinations, could be roads. Depends on what is the important pieces. What are the important pieces that you might... That coffee keeps wanting to just go straight in my mouth. I can't stop it. I can't mid-sentence. I just have to get it in there. I've got to fuel up, folks. All right, so it depends on what you're trying to represent, right? So you could do intersections. So let's imagine we have a map. Maybe we should pull up a map. I feel like nodes would be like locations, though based on the last round, I'm thinking lines not as places, but as connections between places. This one, yes, connections between places. It comes down to what do you want to be able to do with it? Would be another example of an edge. That could be a social network, how you're connected with people, right? So on Facebook, you have friends, and you have friends of friends. The whole idea of 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. Edges could represent the moves you can make. So edges is essentially how you transition between each of your nodes. All right. So in this case, we could say the intersections. You could even have them represent multiple. You could have different types of nodes. Intersections. So if they're intersections, let's draw a map out here. Let's draw a silly map just so we can translate it into a graph distribution. But you can imagine we have Main Street. We'll call this Main Street. And then there's an intersection here. Right? So Main Street connects to we'll call this Central. I don't know if that's the right role. Centel, because I don't know how to spell. Centel. All right, and Centel comes down here. And then we could say that, we've got Walmart here. We got Baskin Robbins over here. We got McDunkin's here. McD, like that. All right, so it could represent intersections. All right, so this street here would be another name for this. It could be Captain Coder Ave, Captain Coder Avenue over here. Zoe us, Zoe USS, Zoe, I'd like to welcome you today. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Happy to have you here. Let's see, what would be another example? What about maps, and where would there, let's see, would be another one besides, what would about in the maps with it? Yeah, so we got to think about how do we represent each one of these things, how they're connected here. We could even have a road here that doesn't go all the way through, so you have like this dead end loop here, right? So this could be main circle like that. So the question is like, what is the data that you have? What are you trying to represent here? What are you trying to do with it? And then you can how do you figure out how these things connect? So in this case, we could say our edges are our roads. So we'd have central, but are the edges really the roads? It's sort of like they go between two locations, right? So this could be a node, this could be a node, this could be a node, this would be a node in this case. And then so we have, this would be an edge, this would be an edge, this would be an edge. If we could get down over here, so our edges are this way, we'd need something else. We could have another node. So we could have two types of nodes, intersections and locations. And then you have this here, whereas this one's actually connected to this corner. This one's connected to this corner. McD's is actually connected here and here. Could be sort of that sort of process. So it comes down to how I do it. Would the loop have a loop edge, or is that forbidden? Ooh, it's not forbidden. It depends on what you want to do. Yeah, so this one, maybe there's a circle here. It could be connected to itself. It could be connected to itself. So there's lots of different options here for how you're going to do it. And this is, see how quickly it can get complex. It comes down to, what are you planning to use? What information do you have? How do you want to represent it? What information are you trying to calculate or discover about it? Are you trying to find the shortest distance? In that case, our edges need to say like, well, this is 4.5 miles, 4.5 feet, kilometers. Time is a dead end pulse at the edge, doesn't go to a node. Yes, you could have a dead end. You could have a dead end. So these could be directed. Notice how right now their edges are going both directions, but check this out. In this graph here, notice there are no outs from this. This is the end of it. Boy, son, thank you for following me. Totally possible. So it comes down to like, what do you want things to do? And we often think of, exactly, finite state machine corpus. That's another graph. You can represent a finite state machine as a graph data structure and use that to think about things. So what are the conditions? So that's another great example, Corfless. Another great example is state machines. For those who don't know what a state machine is, let's think about this. You're in a video game. What are the state machine? Let's talk about state machine just for a second. State machine. All right. And you have your player. So here's another type of graph. You have your player. All right. So we're going to represent player controls. All right. You might have idle. Idle is the state. So your player's sitting there sort of bouncing, waiting to do something. When you press the attack button, it goes into a punch animation, right? So it goes into a punch animation. You have another edge, it comes back, no input. All right. So if you hit attack and then let go, it does the punch and it goes back to your idle. Punches and then goes to idle, right? Okay. What if you hit attack again? You could have a combo. This could go to punch kick, and then it goes back up to the idle state. So punch kick. So if you attack, it does that. Attack. If you attack, it does punch, kick, slam. All right. So what are in this case, your edges are the user inputs and the edges are the state you're going to. Master Chaos, welcome back, my friend. I'm doing absolutely fabulous. We're talking about graphs graph data structure, and how we can use them to represent lots of different things in the world. Topologist Markov chain is another one. So like the combos in Mortal Kombat, they could be implemented. You could represent them this way. That's exactly Wavy. That's exactly right. Slam comes back up like that. And you could sort of say, well, I want to do attack, not punch. But you could even change it rather than attack. This would be A, B, A. So the attack is A, B, A. Could represent the order in which you're inputting things and have some sort of thing that's reading, doing the state machine, and an idle. So we can even have a thing over here that says, move. And then this goes to a run animation. And then again, no input goes down to your idle. We have a jump. All right. So when we're running and we press jump, we go to our jump animation. Right? And then you can sort of set it up to be these different things. Finance says that they have conditional edges. I guess similar things in road network could be a low bridge. Jagu, that's exactly right. So notice I can't actually, if I'm running, I don't have a punch. I can only punch. So the edges kind of build in your conditions for you. Check it out. From my idle state, I can actually go to punch, jump, or move. But from punch, I can only go back to idle. Mastercast, like this particular use case is, so there's this idea thing called a state machine, and it's not just for doing player controls. It just turns out to be pretty good for that. It's really good for artificial intelligence as well. 3Key Girl, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Keeping the Mortal Kombat idea, what would happen if say you punched but was countered, basically causing you to not reach the full node? So you could have something here called hit. All right, so you could have a thing that says, here's an edge that says hit, and this goes to hit damage animation. So you go to damaged, right? So you go to damaged, and eventually this will go back to idle. So while you're in the damaged state, you could be flickering. You could have a little thing that says your health goes down when you end up in this state. We've got what a name, Miguel Angel Thompson. Miguel Angel Thompson. Have you met Miguel? Miguel has followed me today. Miguel, how are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Eternal Divine Fox, good afternoon, my friend. Exactly, you can have them all. I gotta open up Unity so you guys can actually see. All right, do I have a Unity game open here? Let's open up a Unity game real quick. So you can see the animation. Do I have... I'm gonna get it loaded in here. Geez, do I actually have... I can't remember which one of these has... I'm gonna try. I have so many... I have too many Unity projects open here. But Unity's animations are actually a graph using the state machine. Exactly. I think if I open these up in Unity, I'm trying to find a good one. I think we did it in this one. I think we have animations in this one. We're gonna find out. Scale original because the input was made. Well, so your edges doesn't have to necessarily be inputs. So the edge could actually be, this isn't a hit. So your inputs, your edges, you got to think about like, okay, what are the conditions under which I move? So in this case, our edges are conditions. The user input, no input, I was hit. What is the state of what's going on? Don't use, or better yet, don't use, I was going to use it to show an example. I was going to use it to show an example of how you can set up the conditions. Your edges are actually conditions that move around here. And then we're gonna write a generalized graph here in C#. But that's the idea. You have the basic idea here with graphs, nodes and edges. Those are the two things you need. You need things to represent your nodes, your state usually, and your edges say, how do I transition between these states? What is the thing I do to transition? So we have nodes and we have edges. Let's see here. Let's see here in this. Do I have an animation in this one? I got so many crazy things set up. I don't know, guy. I do. Okay, so we have our guy animator. Oh, this one's a little bit lame. All right, so we have our guy idle, and then this transition here is basically if we press a button, we go to the guy running, and then if we're not pressing it, we switch out of the guy running. Can I preview this? Not really, I guess. Let me open up this scene here. Let me open up this scene. This is not the best one. Sample level here, scene. Okay, go to 2D mode, switch back to my character here. So we have this guy here, and he's in an idle state. So we have an animation that says he's idle. So he's idle, he's doing nothing. And then when I press a button, when I press the button in the animator, will it show the animator on this guy here? If I zoom out, can we watch the animation switch? It won't switch here. But he's in this idle state here. If I'm not pressing anything, the guy is idle. And then this right here is a transition that says guy goes to idle. When I press, when I'm is running, notice down here where it says is conditions. Is running true, I go to guy running. And then down here, my condition, my edges are the conditions that I set here. I go to not running. So in Unity, you can do it this way. You can do it this way in their animator. It's not entirely, you know, so it's a little bit more versatile than that. It's not just that way. Okay, let's now go ahead and see if we can write a little bit. I thought so too, but for some reason it's not. Let me check my inspector on my player guy here. Where is my animator? I thought I would be able to too. Guy animator controller. I thought it was going to be switching between them as well. I don't know why I wasn't seeing it. I was in play mode and it wasn't doing it. It wasn't doing it for me. Oh, there it goes. Okay, maybe I just wasn't paying. Okay, now it's doing. I don't know. So watch over here. Watch over here. We have guy on. I didn't have him selected in the hierarchy. All right, so I have my player selected in the hierarchy, and it's just looping this animation over and over. Thank you guys so much for your help there, folks. Several people helped me out. Points, add Distron, 50 points. Thank you so much. Points, add Mooniz, 50 points. It has no reference. Gotcha. So it's looping here. You'll see the guy idle loop is happening. And watch this arrow. Watch this arrow right here. When I press a key, my code will say that my guy is running. It's going to show that transition to the guy running. Notice the arrow is very, very quick. The guy ran. Easy, you guys, smart. That's right. All right, and then I let go, it goes back. So I'll do it again. I go running. I'm in my running state now. When I let go, it's going to transition back. I let go to my idle state. And so I could set this up. I could add more difference. I could add more states here. I haven't. I wish I had a better example. I could add more states here where we transition between them. But that's essentially the animator. The animator, this is a state machine, and it happens to be that you can represent state machines as graphs. You don't, it turns out for the state machines can be represented as graphs. It interpolates during the transition. Yeah, so you can do things like that. See here, it actually will blend them together. Mine is set to blend them together. Although I have this unchecked, so I think it actually just jumped straight to it, so I don't have it checked. But you can have it blend them together. That's absolutely true, Chaos. All right. Okay. So how do we write it in? Yeah. So you could actually have it loop back on itself. That's right. Wavy. Yeah. Sorry, I got confusing. That's right, wavy. It does. You can have it loop on itself. Regular expressions is another one that uses graphs, but don't worry about regular expressions yet. If you haven't, if you're implementing regular expressions, a graph is a good way to do it. So it says, what is the next character? What do I do next? So we're gonna implement a generic graph data. We're going to try to implement a generic graph data set. So we're going to create a class. You can namespace. Master Chaos says doesn't work. Blending doesn't really. Yeah. All right. Redmer, welcome back, my friend. You're very curious about this. Namespace captaincoder.graph. Is that what I should do? I should do captaincoder collection. I don't know anymore. Public class graph. All right. What are my two types? We have nodes and edges. And so we often will see these as T and V, is that right? I'm gonna do N and E, node and edges. and maybe this should be an interface. Maybe it should be an interface, but we're going to be talking about these should be nodes and edges. What are our nodes? What are our edges? How are they connected together? And so maybe this should be called a graph builder. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know what? You know what? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. What would be the way to do this? See, this is why there's not a generic graph. It's kind of it's more complex than the basic ones. So there's not a lot of these built in. Kargush says, "Yo, streamer, what's up, man? Hope stream is going well. Twitch programming streams are legit. Keep it up. Thank you so much for that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Do it, TDD. You want me to do the test-driven development? All right, that's not a bad idea. I have to write test and input. Okay, let's do it." Well, we got to come up with our interface first. We got to come up with our interface for it. So what are the things we want to build? I'm going to make this a graph builder. What will it do? Is it just to store the nodes in it? That's all this is going to do. It's going to store nodes and edges, Redmer. Just going to store nodes and edges. And then we might talk about how to like traverse it and a little bit like that. But print it out, represent it. But like then graph, no? Yeah. So it is a graph. It is a graph. Nodes and edges. But the question is like, what are the methods? How do we interact with things? This is a data structure here. So we want to be able to, and I'm Master Chaos, I'm just writing out some interfaces here so we can think about it. Just so we can think about it. I enumerable of type nodes. All right. And maybe I should create a node data structure. This is where I start thinking about and start over engineering these things. But the idea is nodes have edges. So we want to think about like what are our nodes, and is the type here. It's all good in my book. That's right. That's right. All right. So our nodes and edges just for wavy. It's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever you want it to be. This is going to be a generic node edge, generic nodes and edges. Got to take this VS experience to the next level with the Synthwave 84 theme extension. I haven't heard of that one, Kargush. Kargush, what a great name. What a great name. Okay. I'm going to call this, we're going to do something interesting here. I'm actually going to create an interface, graph, node, and edge. All right. We need the ID. We need to know the node, interface, node. We want to be able to get, yo, are Captain Coder and Captain Coder is you. That's true. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science educator. Did you know that? Did you know that, folks? I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and I teach computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. Ages 10 to 14, folks. Okay, so we're going to have a graph data structure here, and the idea is that we're able to get back our nodes and edges. Ooh, another one is skill tree. We did a skill tree before, and we used a graph data structure. I'm going to create a graph builder. We want a thing that lets us build graphs. It'll let us build some graphs here. All right, this one's going to be the important one. Public class graph builder, like this. And a graph builder is going to make it sort of easy for us to construct this thing. Easier to construct. At the end of the day, this thing's going to have a public graph builder of type node and edges like this. Graph and build. All right, we're right now throw not new, not implemented exception. So we haven't written it yet. Back with some coffee. Welcome back, Divine Fox. Eternal EDF, Eternal Divine Fox. All right, so this will let us build. We want to be able to add, so public graph builder, edge. We want to be able to add nodes, all right, and node, like this. And this will throw this exception. None of these are implemented yet. We want to be able to add nodes and add edges. Public graph builder, node, edge, add edge. These are the two things our graph builder needs to be able to do. And our edge is actually going from node, from to. And part of me is going like, all right, do we actually have the edge here? So this is interesting. This is why it's so interesting here. Munsmo, welcome back. Munsmo, welcome back. This is C#. Yes, we are doing C#, my friend. Microsoft Java, indeed. Profits TV, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. So the question is, when we add, this is why, so you may have noticed there's not a built-in, a lot of times there's not a built-in graph data structure in most programming languages. And it's because there's a lot of decisions you have to make about, well, what does it mean? When we add an edge and from and to, what is this edge here? What does this edge here even represent? Is it a weighted edge? What's going on with it?
Seems good.
Thank you for the nice, JD. Happy to have you here. We also got Negation 99 and Munsmo. Negation. Thank you for following me today. And Munsmo. Welcome to the crew, my friend. Kargoosh. Oh, Kargoosh. I'd like to thank you for following me today. Kargoosh, Munsmo, Negation, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Tuesday. I hope you have a beautiful day. Let's see. Eternal Divine Fox says, Unity is might. Something I want to learn, but I'm learning the native DirectX libs right now. Gotcha. That sounds fun. Someone mentioned they're learning Rust. Kargoosh learning Rust. Look, I've been wanting to learn a little bit more Rust. Rust is a really cool looking language. I'm kind of a Haskell. I'm a bit of a Haskell. All right, so really, let's think about this. Really, a graph builder is, we're saying nodes and edges. This is why the test driven was like, what are we trying to represent here? What are we trying to represent? Is it being too generic here? Let's represent, I'm going to do it. All right, let's bring this back up. Grumpy, welcome back to the stream. Oh, Grumpy, my Grumpy. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Where's my remarkable? There it is. All right. We are, you kind of got to pick. OCaml, my camel, Kargoosh. I love OCaml. OCaml and Haskell. I'm a Haskell addict. I do love me some OCaml as well. We're going to use a graph to represent locations in a dungeon. Locations in a text adventure. And so my graph builder sort of becomes like my maze builder. What are my graph locations? It's sort of add location. All right, so I'm going to change this so we can talk about graph builder. N is going to be our locations, and we can move from those. So it's like sort of in our thing, it'd be like add. All right, let's do a generic version, new generic version. Map builder like this. We're gonna do map builder here, and it's gonna end up being kind of like this. And we'll hopefully be able to genericize it. Map builder and map builder. We're gonna add a location. Add location. All right. String location. All right. Want a maze generator? We're not going to generate mazes. All right. And then we're going to add in an option. Map builder, add option. All right. And this is going to go from a location from the start and then to another location end. All right. And we also have to add in string option name. Okay. So it lets us move between these two things. And at the end of the day, we're going to end up with a game map, which we have to define. We have to define what the heck is a game map. I got one, use it all the time, and it's fairly generic. Is it a two-dimensional maze generator, Grumpy? Two-dimensional maze generator? The maze generator, that's right. All right, so it's complaining I got to get a game map in here. I got to get a game map. Let's create a new one. Game map. Okay, so we're gonna put this in our. All these things are gonna. I bet I have a bunch of builders. Here. Map builder. I don't need that. Public interface game map. Okay, game map is sort of where we are, and it's sort of like, what do we do with this thing? Well, we want to be able to know what locations are there. We're gonna need some locations, so let's do a public IEnumerable of type string locations. Okay, locations. We want to be able, given a location, we want to be able to get all the places we can be here. And then we have an IEnumerable of type string options. There's going to be a method that, given a location, What are the options we can do there? .NET build. I gotta figure this stuff out. Okay, build successful. Oh, I didn't add any. .NET SLN add. You know, this is what's going on here. I didn't add these to my solution yet. So this is gonna be our graphs. And we're gonna add in our test as well. So we're gonna write tests, folks. We're gonna do some test driven development. We just gotta get our interfaces set up here. Let me reload this window, see if it'll actually get my errors in here, because I'm like losing my mind that they're not highlighting stuff. Yeah, Grumpy, check it out. We got a test a test folder over here. We're gonna write some tests. We're gonna write some tests. Never fear, we're writing tests. Dramulks, you hear that? We're writing tests. We're writing tests for you, Dramulks. All right, IEnumerable. Enumerable. Look, folks, do you see how lazy I am? I'm too lazy to click and change this to an E. Munsmo, have a beautiful day, my friend. If you want to know what we're doing next time, feel free to hop on the folks, did you know we have a Discord? We got a beautiful Discord, lots of stuff going on over there. Be sure to hop back in and check it out to know what we're doing in the future of stuff and things of the sort. Okay, so given a location, we have our options and how we can get so this is sort of like a very generic thing. Teach them to do it the right way. Teach them to do it the right way. So it's really interesting, Mash Chaos. Like, I think, yeah, there are certain things you have to learn some basics before you can learn this quote unquote right way you speak of. It's today Al Gore Day, doing algorithms. Back to DirectX. Enjoy it. Thank you so much, Eternal Divine Fox. Thank you for being here, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Remember, keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. Do we want to have exits? So what you could do is in your location, you basically say exits. It depends. So it depends how you're representing these things, how you're representing what we're doing here. Man, Bear Pig is real. Man, Bear Pig is real. That's right. All right. Okay. What was I doing? What's happening? Who am I? Where am I? All right. So we have our map builder. We have our game map. Okay. So here is the test that we want to be able to do. Here is our test. Here's our test. We're going to come over to our test. We're going to test our map builder test. All right. We're going to write a unit test. We're going to write unit tests. And this is adding an edge. Test add edge. All right, let's get our simply. Wonder if Microsoft is hiring C# devs. Probably feels like a thing Microsoft would do. Shouldly, let's get our Shouldly test library. Wonderful test library here. I imagine Microsoft is hiring devs all the time. Boom. Oh, I got the wrong thing. .NET add package Shouldly. Do I need to specify the number? I think I can just do this and it'll get it. It'll get the latest version, I think, if I do that. Grumpy, thank you for that. Points. Add the Grumpy. Oh, hang on. I got the autocomplete. Oh, I learned something new today. I learned something new. The grunt. Oh, my whole life has changed. Grumpy, check it out. So folks, I often use autocomplete and Grumpy, so I went to do points and then I hit tab. Did you know if tab completion works here? And it brought up the little cousin, look, little cousin, you're here. Let's give little cousin 50 points anyway. All right. What I just learned, so I often will give the wrong person points. I did not know that if you keep hitting tab, it'll cycle through. The Grumpy Game Dev, did you know that? TIL, today I learned you can cycle through with the tab key. You can just cycle on through there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff going on. All right, so we're gonna do a test add edge here. So what are our methods? We have add option and add location. Add option and add location. Test add location. Public void test add locations. All right, test add locations. Make this a fact as well, like that. In about an hour, I'll be running a refactor kata, so I was practicing it, so I added should lead to a boilerplate. Very nice. I learned that years ago because I knew you could tab complete. I didn't know that there was a like tab to cycle. I knew you could tab to cycle in Unix. There's also the up arrow. I love the up arrow in Twitch. This works in a lot of places, folks. Did you know if you press the up arrow, it goes to the last command, the last thing you typed in there? The up down arrows will cycle through your commands, the last things you typed in. Little known, fun little fact. I don't know if it's little known. Not so pro tip though. Not so pro tip. You can cycle through your stuff. Okay, so we're gonna add, okay, everything is X term. Everything is X term. That's right. That's right. All right, so we're gonna have a map builder. Here we go. We're gonna do you like red green refactoring? Cargouche, I believe that's what we do with the Grumpy Game Dev. Folks, did you guys know the Grumpy Game Dev and I do a coding kata? I need to add in a kata command. But folks, the Grumpy Game Dev, incredible streamer. If you're looking for a Grumpy Game Dev, someone, if you're looking for someone, madman writing games, text-based adventures, retro-style games, and you want him to kick you off your lawn, go check out the Grumpy Game Dev. And guess what, folks? We do a collab stream every second Saturday. We're going to try to do it every second Saturday. The next one's coming up Saturday, September 9th. September 9th, we'll be doing a collab where the Grumpy Game Dev puts me through the rope, puts me to the challenge, testing out whether or not we can do test-driven development on a programming challenge. Wavy says, I have a 6-print keyboard. I don't even have arrows without pressing it. Function, gotcha. Cargouche, I'm not red-green refactoring. I think that's what we do. Is that where you can only refactor if your tests are passing? And here's the most recent one. Yes, the most recent one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What time do you stream them on Saturdays? This next one, I believe, Grumpy, we'll have to figure that. We alternate between doing it on my stream and Grumpy stream. It's going to be, if you want to find it. If you want to find it, you know what? If you're on the Discord. If you click on events, you can find all the streams, test-driven development, coding kata with the Grumpy Game Dev. Saturday, September 9th, it'll show it in your time zone. If you want to be notified when it's happening, just click that interested. Click that you're interested. We'll do it. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. You win. It's test-driven time. Well, all right. Okay. Test. Add location here. Add location. So we're gonna test this out here. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm watching this video on mute. That's okay, Grumpy. That's okay. I know you don't know. That's hilarious. All right. I guess I could add closed captioning. Yeah, I should add closed captioning. I've thought about doing that. I just have never done it. That's not a bad idea. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, look. Unit test. Well, we're going to rename this to MapBuilder test. MapBuilder test. This test add location. So we need to have a map builder. We need to put this in the namespace here. Namespace using Captain. Oh, we gotta add a reference to this. All right. So in our test, to build the test as a separate binary .NET add reference. We need to say that we want a reference to our graphs here. So this is going to make it so that we can actually access the classes we wrote in our graphs package using captaincoder.graph like this. And so we're going to do a map builder equals new map builder like this. We're going to create a map builder. We're going to add a location. So we're doing AAA testing. This is arrange. What do we got? Assert's the last one. Arrange, act, assert. So you set your problem up. You set up what you want to be tested. What is the state? What is your condition? Then you act. What are you testing? And then you assert whether that thing works. So we're going to arrange here. We're going to act. So we're going to need a map builder. We have our map builder that's just empty here. Our action is to add a location. Someone give me a name of a location. What is the name of the location? And then we're going to do a builder.build. So we're going to build this thing. So this is going to give us back, and I should change this to be an I. It's an interface. So we're following C# convention, iGame map. Captain Coders Academy, Moonness, Hoboken, New Jersey, the museum, Bosch room. I love it. I love it. That's what we're gonna do. We got to change this though. We're gonna follow the conventions here. Death platform. Let's add in some locations. All right, I'm gonna have to remember all these. We're gonna add a location here. We got Captain Coders Academy. All right, and then we'll build it, and we'll have to do some assertions. So this is gonna give us back an game map like this. So it's gonna give us back. This is our action, and the assertion is map dot locations dot length dot count dot should be count dot, oh, you gotta import shouldly using shouldly count dot should be 1 and map dot locations dot should contain Captain Coders Academy. So check it out, Captain Coders Academy, that sort of thing. All right, we have this magic string here. We're going to change this now. We're going to change this. I think it's called a theory here, is if you want to do it. But let's run this test. Let's get this test passing. It's going to fail. It's going to fail, folks. Why is it going to fail? Because I haven't done anything. I want to steal these other names though. So we have Captain Coders Academy, Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken, New Jersey. Thank you, Redmer. It is a fancy mug. The museum. Bosch room, death platform. All right, death platform. Oh, my newbie coder brain can't understand. I only know graph nodes and edges. Oh, so we're wavy. What we're doing now is we are setting it up so we can get confidence that our code that we wrote is correct. So we're gonna write this test here. I'm going to refresh this here so I have this testing framework set up, hopefully. Come on. Find those tests. It did not find my tests. That was disappointing. Oh, I bet I know why. .NET. Hang on. Let's come up to .NET SLN. All right, hang on. .NET SLN add tests. All right, let's try reloading this. Here, bear with me, folks. Grab your bear with me. We didn't add it in. All right, we're gonna try this. Discover the test. Find it. No, it doesn't find it. We'll have to run it from the command line. Oh, geez, come on. Why not? Why didn't you find it? This is no bueno. Peculiar. Open, explore approximately. It's telling me if the directory to execute .NET says is not the workspace root considering .NET. Let's see if we can do. Oh, I forget what I have to do in this settings thing. This should just detect it. This look, folks. If you're on Windows, I recommend using Visual Studio. I use Visual Studio Code so I can understand some of the pain points my students might run into. For example, this one. .NET test. Let's see if it's actually set up to do the test here. Why isn't your decorator unit test Reg 9? Good question. This is in, I'm using C#'s X unit. C#'s X unit uses fact to represent it. So I'm not building. That's why this whole thing is not working. It's not finding it because I have a compilation error here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I hope that answers your question, Reg 9. 9K. What a cool name. All right, so now I bet it'll show up here. But yes, in C#, the attribute in X unit to represent a test, I don't know why they use fact, is fact. So fact is what they're using. All right, so we have our test here. If we run these tests, they're gonna fail. This one will actually pass because there's nothing in it. All right, so let's comment that out real quick. All right, it's failing, and if I look at the error, it's saying builder is not null. Oh, hang on, system. Okay, the error is system not implemented exception. Not implemented exception. The method of operation is not implemented, and that's true. That's true. If we go look at this, we're throwing a not implemented exception. A not implemented exception. We got to keep track of our locations. All All right, so how can we keep track of our locations? What is a data structure that we can use to track the locations that we have? What is a data structure we can use to track the locations that we have? Any ideas? Any ideas? We could do it. We could use a list here. All right. So when someone adds something, we could also just say, oh, don't fail. All right, we could do this. We could do this. Don't fail. We're just gonna get rid of that non-implemented exception. Using custom implemented singly linked list. We could. That feels like a terrible idea, but we could do that, Grumpy. We could do that. All right, if I delete this, but don't. That's right. But don't. All right, if we run this, we're gonna fail, and now we make it to the build that says this operation is not implemented. All right, so we build, now we're failing here. I have to return an instance, an actual iGame map here. I have to return an actual iGame map here. I only have an interface, I don't have an actual implementation of this thing, all right? And so I kind of need to get something that I can return. And so I'm going to use another class. We need to write another class to represent this thing. Yusef, Emmanuel, Yusef, welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Yusef, I'd like to thank you for following me. Yusef, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I want you to feel welcome here. So if I get that name wrong, feel free to correct me. A graph is a data structure. Is this pre-recorded? Mr. Zexter69, this is not pre-recorded. This is live. We're doing it live, my friend. We're doing it live, Mr. Zexter. That's what I should have said. Yes, it's totally pre-recorded, including what you were saying. In the future, AI has improved a lot. That's right. Mr. Zexter, thank you for following me. Mr. Zexter, thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. We need to have a game map. There's a couple things I could do. I'm going to write an internal game map data structure. This is some Inception level pre-recording. It's all set up. Rick, it's all set up. It's all set up. I have the bot set up. Mr. Zexter shows up, types it in. Rick plays, comes in here, and we get it all. That's how you get them. That's how you fool them. Here. All right. So we're gonna call this our game map data structure here, and so namespace captaincoder.graph like that. And we're gonna make this an internal class. Internal means that other things won't know about it. So we only care about the interface. This is how we encapsulate. We only care about the interface. We only care about how we interact with it. We don't actually care about the implementation outside of this. So we're gonna go with game map, and this is gonna implement the iGame map. All right, implements iGame map. When we implement this interface, this says you are required to provide definitions for these things. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get this passing. So now I have one of these, and I can just, when I call build, I'm gonna return a new game map like that. I can just return a new game map. Boom, we're done. We're slowly trying to solve the errors that come up when the test. So the error I was getting when I ran this, was the method or operation is not implemented. So we're slowly trying to correct these errors. Now, if I run it, we're still gonna fail. A new game map. A new game map. We made it past one. So we built the location count. Now the count. When we get to count, it's returning. In fact, when we get to locations, it's returning Javasaurus X. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here. When we get down to our build, it just returns a game map, and our locations is not yet implemented. All right, so we need an IEnumerable. This is just something that's like a list, so we can actually just be like, all right, I'm gonna get a new string array. Can I do that? New string array. Boom. Problem solved. Right now I run it. Don't know why, Grumpy. I thought you weren't even listening. I thought you weren't even listening. I thought you were watching. I thought you were listening on mute. Listening on mute. Grumpy, you fibbing. All right. So now we get a different. Should be 1, but was 0. Should be 1, but was 0. So there were 0 things inside of my game map. Let's close some of these. There were 0 things. So all right, let's put something in it. Banana. All right, put banana in it. Job Source X, how ethical is it to make a bazillion accounts so I can keep using 11 labs from my... Look. You do what you gotta do, my friend. You do what you gotta do. But I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, because that right there is just an admission of guilt, my friend. An admission of guilt. Ethical, All right, so now we have one thing. We should get past this one. We made it past, but now we don't contain Captain Coder's Academy. We don't contain Captain Coder's Academy. :3, welcome back to the stream, my friend. It's okay that you haven't been in a while. We're happy to have you today, though. We're happy that you're back for our Data Structure and Algorithm Tuesday, my friend. It's totally ethical, Java. That's right. So here we are with this. EasyFix, change the assertion to check for banana. No. We can't change the test, but we can change our game map. We can change our game map to this. Captain Coder's Academy. Captain Coder's Academy. Check this out. Our test should pass. It has one thing. It happens to be Captain Coder's Academy. Boom. Our location is done. All right. So this is an important point, folks. I was going to Captain Coder's Academy. Ended up at banana. Pass, commits. We could commit right now. Okay. All right. Grumpy wants us to commit. Git add. Does my git ignore work properly? Here it does. Git commit. We didn't commit earlier, Grumpy. Don't be mad. Chore. Pass first game map builder test. All right. So we have Captain Coder's Academy here. Always commit when you're green. Look. Commit when you're green. Commit because you're mean. Do what the Grumpy says to do. And Immortal Kid, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here. I hope you've been doing well. How have you been, and Immortal Kid? What you been up to? All right. So clearly, we want to be able to have more locations in this. So we can actually do, is it called a theory? We can do a theory test here, I believe. And we can name this our location. So we can parameterize this. And I always forget, look, this is, we got to practice these things over and over. Got to practice things over in our XUnit theory. Got to practice the efficient parameterize these just so we get it. Theory, fact, theory, inline data. So now we can say, use this exact same test, but we're going to use it with a variety of different rooms. So inline data is going to, our string can we do Captain Coder's Academy like this? And we're going to swap this out here with location. When we add a location, that location should get added in this way. And we're going to test it for each one of those. We got, all right, what happens if we add Hoboken, New Jersey, boss room, death platform. So now this test is saying it is dependent on the location that we actually add here. It's dependent on the location that we actually add here. Grumpy, thank you so much for that, for the inline data, my friend. Colin, that sounds fun. I'm sorry it sounds, but it's so dissimilar to stuff I've been doing. It sounds like a fun challenge. Look, you're not going to be good at the first time you try something, you're not going to be great at it. You always got to build it up. Play games in the morning, make games in the morning, play games in the evening. It sounds like a beautiful day. Am I good with tiled map, proton fig? No, I'm not. Have I done tiled maps a little bit? Richard, could you have your test check for the number of locations before you add, then when you use the should be? Yeah, so we could do a precondition. We could add in a precondition here. It's just a little bit difficult because we get the builder. We're testing the results. So we're gonna do so we're gonna add in another test, add multiple locations, Ridge Raider. We will be doing a test for multiple locations. We're trying to keep it simple, build it up as we go. Here we go. If I refresh this now, assuming my code assuming it builds. Will it build, folks? It builds. What's the cool thing about this inline data? So we actually get multiple tests now. It reuses this chunk of code for each one of these. And if I run it, the only one that's actually going to pass is the one with Captain Coder's Academy. And why is that? Well, it's because our game map always has exactly one thing in it. And that one thing happens to say, I am Captain Coder's Academy. It fails for the other ones. So we actually have to say, okay, well, I need this to work. How do I get it to work in multiple different instances? How do I get it to work in multiple different instances? What is the data structure we have to do? So we come back to our map builder. Our map builder's just returning this thing here. So we're gonna have to keep track of the location that gets added. The location that gets added, we need to keep track of that. So what could we use to keep track of the location? Any suggestions? I could do a thing like this, private string location. I could do it this way. Any other suggestions? This feels like it may not be the most appropriate. Lance, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Thank you so much for your update on the Discord. I appreciate you letting me know things are not, I hope things are well. Let me just say, I hope things are well. Happy to have you here. I'm having a beautiful day. I hope things are going well for you, given all the circumstances. Okay. If it'll make your test pass, it's the right thing. Yeah, all right, Grumpy likes it. If it'll make our test pass, it's the right thing. So we're going to take our game map. We need to save this. Traybury, a hash map. Traybury, exactly. A hash map is going to be it. Look. There's nothing. I once had a wise professor once told me, if you have a problem that you can't solve, try using a hash map. If you still can't solve it, try using 2 hash maps. Turns out a hash map can solve the majority of problems. In C#, hash map is essentially what we're gonna do. In C#, hash map is dictionary is a hash table. Hash map in Java. Yeah. So dictionary here. Dictionary. Look, they're like the most powerful. They're one of the most power. It's like arrays are really powerful. Dictionaries are arrays with more power. Dictionaries, arrays, that sort of thing. Traybury, thank you so much for the suggestion, my friend. Let's give you some points. Let's add Traybury. 50 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much for that. N Jimenez. Is it Jimenez or is it NGI Menez? N Jimenez, welcome to the stream, my friend. N Jimenez. N Jimenez. Jimenez. NJI, welcome. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Dynamic programming is a little bit different, but you can use, often the times you will use an array, or a hash table to look things up really fast. So dynamic programming, just a quick aside, dynamic programming means you save your work so that way you don't have to recalculate it each time. And maybe we'll do some dynamic programming next week. I love me a good dynamic programming problem. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next week. I have to come up with some examples. All right, so we're going to use, let's start with just a location for now, but we're going to get there. We're going to start with just location. We're going to build it up. How might you go about solving this? Start with just a location. We need to pass it in there. And maybe when we have like a string of locations, right? You might have multiple locations. We need this thing to grow dynamically. So we might do a list of string of locations. All right. And we'll say that this is going to be equal to an empty one when we start out. And whenever we get one of these, we're going to do locations.add location. What is the problem with using a list like this? There's going to be a problem with using a list like this, though. We need it, and we're going to discover that really, really quickly. We're going to discover it. We will discover it relatively quickly here. A list of lists. Ooh, a list of lists. A list of lists, maybe. Maybe. That's right, Master Chaos Leg, 99% of the time. It's very often a hash map or an array. It turns out a hash map is just a really fancy array. All right, we need to get these locations to our game map. So we're gonna add a constructor here. We're gonna add in a constructor here. Public, internal game map list. Sorry, enumerable string locations like this. All right, we're gonna take that in, and basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say that, okay, well, locations is gonna be equal to locations.toArray. We're gonna make a copy. And we use the twos here in C#, twos make a copy. Just use distinct on the list, Grumpy says. When you say distinct, I'm gonna make it a hash set. I'm gonna make it a hash set, but you'll see. They'll all see, Grumpy. They'll all see. Make our own location. We're gonna get there, Immortal Kid. We're gonna get there, maybe. We started out doing a generic, so this is where our graph, we have like a generic graph. We're doing an explicit example so we can explore it before getting all crazy with all our connections and stuff. So we're gonna do a very specific one of nodes and edges. Ben, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, generalizing it becomes challenging. I hope you're doing well, Ben. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Happy to have you. Okay, so our game map takes in these locations, and basically what we say is that our locations, can I do just a get here? I think I can do just a get. It's gonna turn it into an array. Okay. Folks, just so you know, sometimes reading these questions is a little hard. If you want to leave me a question so that I'll answer it or look at it, feel free to do that. And then when we go and take our break, I'll answer your questions. So feel free to do that. I'm trying harder to be less distracted. I'm not good at it. You'll notice I'm not good, but it is working a little bit. Look how much progress we've made compared to in the past. It's :3. It's brand new. I only added in the question command on Saturday, so it's brand new. :3. No worries. It's just yeah. Don't worry, my friend. Do not worry. All right. So the locations to it right here. All right. Let's try this. I think our tests will pass now. Boom, success, we're done, folks. We have written a working map builder, no problems at all. Nothing has not been implemented, 100% working. Have a beautiful day. No, we're not done yet. We're not done. All right, there's a bug in here, or a potential for a bug here. So we're gonna do add duplicate location. Yeah, Wavy, that's a good question. What do tests do and what does them passing mean? Great question. What a beautiful question. And so sometimes I answer your questions like this. The tests allow us to check. It forces us to think about what is our code supposed to do, and it gives us confidence that our code is doing that thing. Tests do not prove that our code is working. Tests prove that the tests give us confidence that our code is doing the things we want, and then if we refactor, the code changes. So we're gonna add duplicates here. So essentially, I'm gonna do the same thing. We're taking a string location like this, and we're gonna pass this in. We're gonna just add this in twice. It's essentially the same test, very, very similar, same test, except we are going to add the same location twice. In fact, let's add it multiple times. We'll add it multiple times. If you add the same location multiple times, I'm going to say that it just doesn't add it again. It leaves it. So if you add the same location multiple times, you should end up with the only one copy of that location. Should end up with only one copy of that location at the end of the day, even if you added it twice. An alternative would say, well, we're just going to throw an exception. We're not going to allow someone to do this. But I'm going to say that it's acceptable to do this, and we're just going to say that it shouldn't let us do it. There can only be one. That's right, Grumpy Game Dev. There can only be one. Highlander style. Highlander style, there can only be one. Okay. So there can only be one. We're going to add these locations. And if we run this, let's refresh our test here. I believe they're going to fail because this list data structure, it's going to add it multiple times. And there's going to be 3. I think the error is going to say that should have been 1, but was 3. So if we click over here and we look at this error, should be 1, but was 3. And it's because we've added that thing multiple times. We've added it multiple times. And so to solve this, we could do the following. There's several ways we could solve it. We could say if locations.contains location, return this. Just do nothing. If the location's already there, do nothing. All right. We could say if it's not there, then we add it in. If it's not there, we can add it in. Let's test it. All right. But the version that I want to use, is I want to use a hash set here. I'm going to use a hash set. And hash sets are kind of cool in that, and sets. What is when we talk about a set, what is a set in mathematics? What is a set? A set is, the important thing here is it's unordered. You don't know the order. You don't care about the order. You just care whether or not something is in the set. So for example, the set of Venn diagram, Grumpy, thank you. The Venn diagram, exactly. You could say it's essentially a Venn diagram. So it's like, what are the things that fall inside the circle? In one case, you might say, well, what is the set? This is like the very mathy one. It's like the set of all positive numbers. The set of all positive numbers. So you could ask the question, is the number 5.7 in the set of all positive numbers? It is. Yes. No. It's a yes or no. A hash set tells us whether or not something is or is not in it, and you don't care about the order. A list keeps an order, a set does not. And one of the beautiful things about a hash set is it gives you really fast times. All positive real numbers. Well, then we have a different Venn diagram, right? So we have a lot of real numbers, positive numbers, and all positive real numbers. And then you have irrational numbers, so all positive integers. Exactly. It's beautiful. By their powers combined, a linked hash set belongs in the set of sets and set of lists. Yes, exactly. All right, so we can add all these things in here, folks. So we add those locations in, and check it out. I changed my implementation. I did a refactor, and we can rerun this. Wavy says, I'm on the way to enroll your 10 to 14-year-old class as a 23-year-old. Yeah, good luck, my friend. Wavy, happy to have you with us, my friend. Close to spectacular, welcome back. Happy to have you here. Yeah, so folks, anyone who doesn't know, I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. That's my full-time job. I'm on summer break. I go back to school tomorrow. Our first day of class is tomorrow. I'm so excited for it. I can't tell you. I'm so weird. Whoa. Thank you for the whoa. Close to spectacular. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Ryan, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy, what is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I think I could fake it 39 fresh meat. Maybe. Possibly. Okay. So we have this hash that we can add our locations, and we gotta commit. Get add, get status, get commit. What do we do? Chore implement add implement no duplicate locations, like that. School starting on Wednesday. I know it's weird, but that's when we're starting. We're starting on Wednesday. It turns out there's some good reasons for it. I'm not going to get into it too much, but yes, we start on Wednesdays. Yeah, I can't stream my class. That would be no bueno. That would be no bueno. That's why we're here, Wavy. That's why we're here. Wavy, if you want to see a live coding lesson this Sunday, the last Sunday of every month, we do a collab stream with Farron's Cabinet. Farron, incredible artist, streamer, and aspiring game developer, learning how to program. And we do a live lesson with Farron on Sundays. Folks, if you're not on the Discord, it's at a different time than I normally stream, but the last Sunday of every month. Hang on, where's my Discord? Discord, I need you. The last Sunday of every month, if you wanna know the time in your local time, come on to the Discord. There's events here. If you scroll down, Farron learns to code the last Sunday of every month. We do it. Where's the Captain OS, Tommy? We're gonna get Captain OS. Yeah, Captain OS. Last Sunday of every month, we do a live coding lesson with someone who's just learning how to program. This will be their second lesson. All right, we did commit it. Okay. All right. Let's talk about adding in our locations now. Add in our locations. And it's almost time for a break, but we're gonna write a test here for test add duplicate locations. It's all yes, they're all part of the VODs. I send in an ask for help. Ben, no worries, my friend, no worries. Thank you for posting it, folks. We do have an ask for help on the Discord. We might get to it. We'll see after we take our break. But let's add in a test. Add in a fact here. Public void test add option. Okay. So we're going to add an option between two things. We need a map builder. Remember, we're doing AAA testing. Arrange. Assert. You're a professional Hello World printer, Tommy. It happens. Look, that's usually the first step to becoming a professional if statement writer. Okay. So we're going to arrange this. Our builder. We're going to add some locations to our builder. We're going to add a location, Captain Coders Academy, right? Builder.add location. Folks, we're going to use this chain thing I did here. You might have asked yourself, why are you in your builder? Why are you returning this? Let me show you. Now I can chain these together. Rather than doing builder, I can just keep doing builder.add location, add another location here. From Captain Coders Academy, you can get to Main Street. Oh no, what was it? You can go to the death platform. And then we're gonna do like this. This is our setup. And then the thing we're gonna act on is builder.add options. And the option we're going to go from is Captain Coders Academy to, this is our option name, go to death platform. And it goes from Captain Coders Academy to death platform. So this is the option that we're going to do, add options here. And then we're going to get back an iGame map builder.build, and then we can assert. There's some assertions we want to do. So our assertions, I'm going to steal these just for a second, and we're going to assert there should be two locations. It should contain Captain Coders Academy. It should also contain our death platform. And then when we do map.options for Captain Coders Academy, right? When we do this, the count for this, we should have one option. Should be one. What are our options from Captain Coders Academy? Should be one. And then it should also be, it should contain death platform. Ooh, this is an interesting thing. So it should it contain death platform or should it contain go to death platform? What should it contain? It's a great thought here. I don't know. So I'm realizing my interface might not be right. And so really over in my game map, in my iGame map, it should return a pair, a tuple. It needs to return a thing that says the option and then the destination. So I'm going to change this. Kind of hate tuples. So we kind of have this thing that's an option. All right. So I'm going to create a struct real quick. A public struct option. I'm going to call it a game option. All right. And so public string option. Public string option, and then a public string destination. And really, maybe it have all the public string start, option and destination. This is the edge. It's a directed edge. And this is no longer return an enumerable of strings. It returns a game option. Notice I created a data structure to contain these two things to make it easier to have those. And look, I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe I make it a class. Doesn't have to be a struct. It could be a class like this. And then I'll make a constructor public game option string option string destination like this. And then when we construct this bad boy, we're going to set our option and destination. We're going to set that to be the specified option and destination like that. So a little bit fast here. Vastly improved. I try to avoid tuples, Redmer. I find that tuples get really messy really fast. And the refactoring a tuple is very, very painful. Very, very painful. So that's just my personal preference. Game option here. So I made it a game option. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out into here. Wavy, good question. A tuple. Instead, I could do a thing like that, like a string, comma, string. So this creates a data structure that sort of combines these two things together. And so I could have done this option, and then this here would be destination. So I could have done something like this. It makes the refactoring kind of painful later. Say I want to add more to it. Say I want to do something else. So it's a little bit more it's a nicety. I would never put it. So Redmer, I will never put a tuple. That's a lie. I was gonna say I'll never put a tuple in an interface. I try to avoid using tuples in publicly shared information. Jack, that's what a tuple is. I hope that answered that question. What good question here. I choose struct much of the time. Yeah. So in this case, we have the other class struct. I want to do with the class. I want these to be, you know what? Read only struct. We're gonna do it this way. Read only struct string option string destination. We're gonna get fancy with it. Primary constructor is not available for, in C# 11. Please use language version 12 or greater. What? Primary constructor. Public. Records. Read only record struct. There we go. So for me, the easy thing to do is to say, oh, just make this a record. We can even do public record like this. All right. A record, we don't need to give it a name. We could be anonymous with the tuple. So a tuple is like an anonymous data structure. It just makes, in my mind, chaos. In my personal preferences, I think it makes things hard to read. I'd have to look up what the purpose of adding tuples to the language was. Usually it's like, oh, we did it for this specific use case. And my feeling is the use case was some kind of pattern matching, which they have now added features for. So we're gonna go with game option, we're gonna make it super simple like this, make it a record here. And we could, I'm just gonna make it a record. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Records are an easy way to define data types. Let's make sure it's spelled .NET build. Do you build? Will it build? Do I build right now? I don't build. I don't build because I broke it. Here, this is just saying I need to change this to now be a game option. Like that. A game option. There we go. Still breaking? What are you breaking on? Map builder tests. Should contain. Okay, so now we're going to say that it should contain a game option that goes go to death platform along with death platform. Okay, so this allowed us to do this. Should contain options, should contain the game option, go to death platform like this. There we go. There we go. Let's do our tester. Is my break timer broken? I don't know why. I don't know why you keep breaking. You broke on me again. Let's run this. We're gonna run this test. I think we've been going for a little over 90 minutes here. All right, so our add option here. Of course, it's not implemented, so we're failing. We are failing, folks. I hate to say it, but we're failing. All right, folks, I do have to look. Every 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours max, we take a break. I'm gonna go get myself another, 1.5 breaks? Yeah. No, well, look, usually I do 90 minutes. 90 minutes is sort of my max. We've been going a little bit longer than 90 minutes, I believe. We are gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get myself some more bean water, folks. I am out of bean water. I'm gonna chug myself some fresh water, get some fresh water. When we come back, we're gonna do some stretches. We're gonna take care of ourselves because the captain loves you, which means you should love you. If you love you, gotta take care of that body. So when we get back, we're gonna do some stretches. So grab your bear with me, get ready to stretch. Get your mom, get your dad, get your cousin, get your uncle, get your goldfish. Your goldfish needs to stretch too, because we'll be back. We're gonna be getting some stretches in, folks. The captain shall return momentarily. Thank you for bearing with me, folks. The captain is back. You know what that means. We're going to get some stretches in. We're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to love our bodies the way they deserve to be loved. Look.
You in the back. Pay attention.
The captain loves you, which means you should love you. And if you love you, you got to love yourself. And so we're going to love ourselves a little bit right now, taking care of our bodies. Look, if you're like the captain, where'd my remote go? Where'd my zoomer go? Now I can zoom out. I'm a zoomer boomer. I can zoom out here. Folks, if you're anything like the Captain Coder, you're hunched over your computer all day. You're hunched over your computer all day like some kind of coding troll. Maybe you're an internet troll. Maybe you're a cave troll. Look, trolls deserve love. Whatever type of troll you are, you got to get up. We got to take care of ourselves. Got to take care of those RSIs, those repeated stress injuries. What we're doing, I'm going to try to answer some questions. If you have a question, feel free to send one there. Thetra, welcome back to the stream, my friend. So happy to have you here with us on this beautiful day. Feel free to send your questions in. That will log them in my handy dandy questioner here. So we got a couple questions here. So if you have more questions, feel free to ask them. But get on up with me. We're going to start by stretching out. We're going to start by stretching out our, what is this called? Our forearm here. Look, I got the carpal on my right hand here, my right wrist. We got the carpal. You don't want to get the carpal. You don't want to be like the captain. You want to be better than the captain. So we're going to stretch these out, grab those fingertips, pull them back until you get a little bit of tension in your forearm here. A little bit of tension in your forearm. Just hold it there. We're going to hold it for 25 seconds. If you feel any pain, stop. You don't want to feel pain in your wrist, fingers, elbow, anywhere, no pain. Just pull it back. You're just going to hold it there. Oh yeah, get that stretch in, feel it real nice, taking care of yourself. You're welcome, Thetra, thank you so much for sharing your adventure with us. Thetra, if you'd like to share a link to it, please do so. Happy to have you here with us on this beautiful day, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday where you happen to be in the world. Go ahead and roll that wrist out. We're gonna go the other direction now. The other direction, instead of the whatever, this muscle cover, and stretch the top one, and I grab those fingers. You're going to pull straight down. Don't pull towards yourself. Don't pull away from yourself. Straight down until you feel a little bit of tension on the top here. And just hold that nice in there. Again, no pain. Once you feel the little bit of tension, just hold it there. Don't want to keep pulling. Once you have that little bit of tension, it's easy to hurt yourself. Just hold this here. We're going to hold this here 15 more seconds, folks. Taking care of ourselves, loving ourselves the way we deserve to be loved. Grumpy asks, the Grumpy Game asks, why a duck? Why a duck? Why not? Why not a duck? Really it comes down to a duck is as much as you're ever going to need, my friend. Go ahead and roll that wrist out. We're going to change directions here. Get that other hand up. We're going to stretch out the forearm, grab those fingertips, pull back. Hold it there nice and tight. And once you have the little bit of tension, don't hurt yourself. It's all right, Dragon Spirit Game. It's okay. I don't mind you muting me. Look, lurking is the backbone of streaming. Lurking, and we love the lurkers. We love you guys hanging out with us. And really, I hope you guys are stretching right now. Just holding it nice and tight. Go ahead and roll that wrist out. Oh yeah. We're gonna go the other direction now. Take those fingertips, go and pull down, and we're gonna hold it off here. Oh, feels good, my friends. I hope you're stretching out. Hope you're loving yourself. Look, the captain loves you, my friends. The captain loves you all very much. We're just gonna hold this here 10 more seconds, getting that stretch in, really nice, taking care of ourselves, and 5 more seconds. Here we go. Go and roll that wrist out. Ben, I might not have time to check. I'll look at it. I might not have time to answer today on stream, but we'll take a look. And folks, anyone else who's available on the stream, go ahead and take a look at it as well. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and stretch on up, reach on up into the sky. Get that full body stretch up on those tippy tops, up on those tippy toes. Ooh, my calves are burning, folks. Engage that core, get that stretch in there all the way through your whole body. Oh, doesn't it feel good to be alive? We're gonna take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, go ahead and roll down, whole body roll down, and you're just gonna hinge at the hips, and you're gonna hang. You're gonna hang here. You're focusing on stretching out that lower back and your glutes. Lower back and glutes. If you need to, go ahead and pull those shorts up so you're not giving anyone a nice view. All right, just hang here 10 seconds, folks. Just loving ourselves, letting that breathe in and out, letting our breath flow nice and smooth in and out with us. Doesn't it feel great? Doesn't it feel lovely to be alive? I hope you love living. I hope you're living your best life. We're gonna inhale for 5 seconds, and as we do, roll up nice and slow. When you get up to the top, roll those shoulders up, back, and down. We're just gonna roll them back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Roll forward. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Oh, shake it out, folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for taking care of yourselves. We're going to give you guys some points. Add all 50 points to all of you beautiful people for hanging out, stretching with me. I hope you are all having a beautiful morning, beautiful day, beautiful Tuesday. I appreciate you guys hanging out and coding with me. We're gonna answer some questions, folks. If you want to get your question in, feel free to do it real quick. Exclamation point, question, add your question. Grumpy, why a duck? Why a duck? Because a duck is a muck, and you muck duck as much as you can, my friend. And really it comes down to why not a duck? Why not a duck? All right, then we have here, Imperial, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Colon 3 asks, on the off chance you've worked on turn-based games before, on the off chance, on the off chance you've worked on turn-based games before, do you have any idea how to get a better balance for when your enemy decides to move or attack? Ooh, you get 2 actions per turn in my game. You can attack or move on tile each action, but I can't get a decent balance between what it does. You could build, we're talking about graph data structures today. Your AI could be, the options that the AI could take could be a graph. You could map out locations. On your graph. Here, let me get my Remarkable pulled up here. So you have a turn-based data game. It all comes to how do you represent it. Imperial, we're talking about graphs today. We're talking about graph data structures today. And so you can imagine that you have a turn-based strategy game. All right, so you have a turn-based strategy game. Let's just look at a very simple idea here. You're gonna get 2 moves, right? You get 2 moves. And so you might have like a player here and an enemy here, and you're trying to decide, what do I want my enemy to do? Well, you could say, you encode this whole state as a node. This is one option you can do, and you can find ways to optimize this whole state as a node. And you say, okay, well, one of my moves might be, right, a move over here. P, your enemy moves here. So your enemy, the whole thing could be to move closer to the player, like that. And then you could say, okay, well, what if I did the attack? What is the result of that? What is the result of doing the attack? All right, so you could map it out this way, and then you could say, okay, well, what are the different outcomes I could choose here? And then you end up with like a weight that says, well, this one I'm going to do with a 50% chance. I'll do this one with a 25% chance. So you can map them out this way. This would be one way you could do it. Imperial, is breadth first search algorithm the best search algorithm though? And it depends on the situation. I would probably use something like A star for this one. A star. A star says there's a heuristic that you're going to use. And then you could also just build it up so that rather than doing the best moves, you can weight the moves and say, okay, well, I'm going to do this one 90% of the time. I'm going to do this one 10%. This is just one option. You could build out, what would I think of then? Can you not use A star for a graph, Imperial? I think you can use A star for any type of graph. I don't think it has to be just a grid. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I might map it out this way. That could be really interesting. Science Streams, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Folks, you guys know the incredible Science Streams. Balance does incredible educational streams, my friends. Incredible educational streams. Gotta hop out. Go check out science streams. We love them. Wednesdays, my favorite one. Whack-em Wednesdays. Whack-em Wednesdays, doing art, science, talking about all kinds of beautiful stuff. Balance. Is Balance? I always feel like I'm pronouncing it something. Balance. I think it's Balance. Out there on science streams is he has a PhD in ant studies. It's beautiful, biologist, amazing stuff. It's the second I don't even know what I said. Balance, sorry, my friend. All right, :3, I hope that kind of answered your question. Thank you for asking. Man, do you know any code for rotation for horizontal? I don't know exactly what, Ben Developer, if you're still around, could you clarify this a little bit? Do you know any code for rotation? I'm not 100%. Thindle, welcome back to the stream, my friend. So happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Folks, you guys don't know Thindle, incredible streamer. He is the host of the Captain Coder What emote. Look, there's a handful of Captain Coder emotes, only collectible. You can collect them all. Look, Captain Coder's not an affiliate. I am not an affiliate, so I do not have any emotes of my own. I don't have any emotes of my own, but you can get the collectible Captain Coder emotes on the Captain Coder's favorite streams here. Here, we're about to explode here. You guys ready for it? You guys ready for all the emotes? Whoa, that's right. You guys ready for it? Here it comes. Here, Coding Kim saying, whoa, here it is.
What?
Got a lot of emotes. You can get all the emotes. Get them your favorite Captain Coder streamers. All right. Any code for rotation for horizontal? I don't know. Could you be more specific, Ben? I think you might have put some on ask questions, so we'll take a look there. Free axe, freaks. I'm gonna go with freaks. Let me know if that's incorrect. Feel free to correct me. Freaks. Thank you for following me today. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. All right, Ben, let's take a look here. Let me see if I can find this question in our Ask for Help. Folks, we do have an Ask for Help section on our Discord. Ben says, I expect the horizontal to go side when moving. However, it does not work. Can someone help us explain why it doesn't do horizontal like left and right? All right, so I think here's some code here. Let me steal this and open it in the browser. See if we can get this image open up in the browser here. Open in browser. All right, zoom in a little bit here. So we have some code. Velocity, rotate, input the axis horizontal time dot delta time. Transform dot rotate here. So if they're pressing up and down, your question is, we're pressing them down. :3. Maybe we can connect on the Discord at some point, and we can take a look and examine it. Another, I want to start doing a thing called offsets, where we have people hop on with their code. I'm a little nervous to do it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm a little nervous. So you're saying that this is not rotating your correctly. So you're trying to rotate on your horizontal axis. All right, let's we're gonna divert just a little bit. Let's set up a scene here. Are you in 2D or 3D space? Let's go with 3D. I don't know if I can set up a 3D thing here. Thank you for the nice. Thank you for the nice, Ben. Sorry. Thank you for the nice, Zoe. Thank you for the nice. All right, so let's create a scene here. I don't know if 3D is gonna work in this project. Test rotation. Yeah, there's not going to be a light source here, so I'm going to do it just with our. I'm going to do it with 2D. We're going to do it 2D. Oh, maybe I'll do it with 3D. Can I add? All right. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous that if I switch to 3D here, just uncheck 3D. I don't have a light source. Do I need to add a light source? Or I can just turn off lights or something. Add light. So, folks, I'm not the most competent directional light. All right. Have it point downward. Down like 45. And then let's move it super high. I don't think the height matters. I just don't want it on my screen. All right. And then we'll add in here. We're going to add in a 3D. Add in a cube. Add in a cube. All right, so our goal is to get this cube to rotate. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful cube. It's a happy little cube. Let's add in a script. Create. We're going to create a little script here called cube rotator. Cube rotator, folks. And we're going to see if this will actually open up for us. We're working on the fly here. The cube rotator. The cube rotator. Camera perspective. Good call. Good call. Happy little cube. Thank you. Thank you, Gandalf. Thank you, Gandalf. I appreciate it. So main camera here. Perspective. There we go. Now we have. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Let's go ahead and move this bad boy out. Let's move this bad boy up. I can see I got a little preview here. For my game view. Okay. And we're going to add this to our cube. We're going to add component cube rotator. And we're going to add some code in here to make it rotate. And of course, my project's not building. Let me change this 1 second. All the new things, we're going to change this to do Visual Studio. Folks, I know it's crazy. Captain Coder using Visual Studio. What's this madness? All the new Visual Studio Code stuff for Unity seems to not work for me these days. So we're going to check it out here. We're going to check it out. We're going to open this up over here. All right. Okay, so our update, the idea is we want to rotate this. So we're going to do a transform. All right. First off, can we get it to rotate? Can we get it to rotate? So what I want it to do is we're going to make it so our cube, not directional, like our cube, we want it to rotate. So if we do the y-axis, it's going to rotate around like this, rotates around like this. So the idea is I'm going to adjust this rotation. Can I just put you in the center of the universe? Hang on. 0. This is going to mess up where my camera is, isn't it? Where's my main camera? Let's put you at 0, 0, and then -5. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so our cube, we're going to make it rotate here on, if we rotate on the y-axis, we rotate that way. If we rotate on the x-axis, we rotate that way. And if we rotate on the z-axis, we rotate that way. So we have, what is that? Would that be, is that 6 degrees of freedom or is that 3 degrees of freedom? I'm not sure. Look, I'm not sure. We can rotate it on 3 axes, but in 2 different directions on it. I don't know. Someone tell me, am I right? Is that 6 degrees of freedom or 3 degrees of freedom? I don't know. Look, Captain doesn't always know. But what we can do here is we can come into our object. You'll notice I am playing around with the transform. I'm playing around with the transform here. So this will be transform dot rotate. Transform dot rotate, and I can specify that I want to what I want to rotate on. So if I want to rotate on the y-axis, I could do it this way: 0, 1, 0. This is going to be unbounded to my frame. So it's going to be every frame it's going to rotate. I believe this would be 1 degree. So I'm actually going to have this be. I'm going to create a variable here: public float speed, like this. I'm going to have it rotate by my speed, and it's going to say rotate this many degrees per second. So we use delta time. This will scale it to be this would be 1 if a whole second had passed. All right, we'll set the default to 5. So we're going to rotate, let's do 180 degrees per second. 180 degrees per second as our default. And so if I come over to my cube rotator, I can adjust this speed now. I should be able to adjust this speed. Okay, let's run it. I have a thought here. We're going to see if this thought works. And there we go. Our cube is rotating on the y-axis. If I want it to rotate slower, I can say do 90 degrees per second, 45 degrees per second. I can adjust this speed here. 360 degrees per second. That's a full rotation every second. 180, whatever it happens to be on my rotation here. All right, but the question was, I can't, you seem to be having trouble, I believe, on the horizontal axis. We're gonna have it be based on our horizontal axis here. All right, we're gonna have it be based on our horizontal axis. So this horizontal axis is defined as a user input here. So let's pause this. And if we come over to our, I think it's project settings, input manager, we can look at our axes. Horizontal, This is going to be our left, right, and A and D keys. Left, right, and then A and D. Left, right, and then A and D. So if I'm turning left or right, we adjust based on those. And you can adjust these keys if you want using the input manager. And so we're going to say input.get axis horizontal. Did I spell that right? Let's look at my preferences again. Not preferences, project settings. Edit, project settings, horizontal. So one thing you want to make sure it's spelled correctly. And if we look at the return type, it's tiny. I don't know why it's so tiny. Returns a float user input here. And what we can do is we can multiply user input times. You can also get access raw where you will not have any lerp in it. Gotcha. Yeah, so this is going to get our user input, and to help us debug, dot print, what is the debug.log? There we go. User input here. We'll be able to see what the user input is before it updates. All right. So if we're pressing nothing, it should be 0. If we're pressing A, I think it'll be negative, and we're pressing D, it will be positive, and it multiplies it by our speed. So let's run this, and we can take a look at it. We'll check it out here. And you'll see in our console, we're outputting 0 really fast. This number's going up. I have it on condensed. So every frame, it's checking this. When I press the D key, I rotate this direction. When I press the A key, I rotate the other direction because I've gone to -1. You'll see I'll go -1. And I go up, I go down, and it essentially reads it for a couple frames as it's building up. And if I were to use a controller, I can actually have control over, by default, it's added to our controller's analog stick. And if I hold it slightly, it doesn't go all the way to 1, and I can control the speed on a joystick. So if I get it there like that, we do it. So I hope that answered your question, Ben. Let me get this on we'll get it on a haste bin for you. 1 second. Let's go ahead and grab this bad boy. Get our cube rotator. Really, this is the code you want. The code you want here. We'll get it on a haste bin for you. In fact, I'm gonna add it to as a response here from stream. Posted that for you on Discord. Okay. Try from stream. So Ben, I went ahead and added it to as a response on Discord. So rather than put it on a haste bin, we have a response from Discord. I hope that helped you out. Monglo, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here. Welcome, my friend. Happy, what's today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Ben, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for asking your question. Welcome back, Eternal Divine Fox. Wavy says, Wavy has a question. Do you know if it is possible to enroll in a class that is just for game dev without having the basics, without having to go through basics of English, science, etc. as if I tried to go to college for a degree? I'd like to have a class so I could have projects and stuff I'd need to turn in, if that makes sense. Yeah. I know that there are schools like that, Wavy. I've thought about running a class myself. It turns out it's harder. It's kind of hard to get adults, a lot of adults, to sign up for a class like that. I don't quite have the network reach to set it up, but I've thought about it. I haven't been able to generate enough interest to make it viable to run a full-blown class like that, unfortunately. That said, I know that they exist. I know that they exist. But I don't know where to find them. If anyone has any suggestions, please share those suggestions. My answer is I know that they exist. I don't know where to find them. Yeah, Ridge Raider, please do. I'd appreciate that. Very much. Good question. I'm not entirely sure where to find them. All right, folks, we got through our questions. Thank you guys so much for asking your questions. Thank you for bearing with us through that time, through the question time. Points at all. 50. So Ridge Raider Game Dev TV is not bad. I think Wavy's looking for like interaction. Wavy, correct me if I'm wrong. You're looking for like, you want to have an instructor, correct? So you want to be able to get feedback from the instructor and have things to turn on. I do know that there are online courses you can take, but yeah. So I think Wavy's looking for like not necessarily in person, but maybe online / in person classroom setting where you're actually in a class. Boot camps. I don't know if there's like a game dev boot camp. Does anyone know? I know some colleges run that stuff as well. All right, so what are we doing? Exactly, Moon, is it usually costs a bit of money. That's where we run into the trouble a little bit. Okay. So all right. Reset break. What are we doing, folks? What's going on today? Well, today is data structures and algorithms. Today we're exploring graph-based data structures. After we convince them. Yeah, so I do look, if you could get people to join in, you can sign. I will teach you. I don't normally promote myself all that much. I think it turns some people off, and I'm not here to try and drive people to join and pay for us. I will do coding sessions up to 4 people. The reason I don't promote this is I know it's cost prohibitive for a lot of people. But for up to 4 people, $115 for an hour is what I say, but it ends up, usually I bleed over 75 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it happens to be. But if you want me to run a personalized class for you and up to 3 other people, and maybe you can convince me to do more, it's just hard to do online with larger classes. I'm happy to do that. That said, I don't always promote myself this way because I think some people, look, I'm not trying to drive business to me here. But that is my rate. Anyway, what are we doing today? We're looking at data structures and algorithms. We had just written a test before our break. We had just written a test that we're trying to add in the option, game option, go to dev platform has this edge. It has this edge. Okay. And so we're going to take our data structure. Freaks, I agree. That's what I'm going for. I'm trying to make it reasonable and productive. The reason I don't do more than 4 people is it tends to be you won't get your value. You won't get your value worth after that. That said, it's cost prohibitive for some people in other places in the world. In the United States, it's not that bad. In other places, it can be a little bit tough to do. Yeah. Okay. What am I saying here? Sorry, I got distracted. Game options. You can add options. Go to Death Platform, Cabinet Coders Academy, Death Platform. Yes. Okay. So in our map builder, we are currently failing here. When I go to run this test, it says it's not implementing. Well, that's what I'm saying, Wavy, is if you wanted me to teach a personalized class for you and other people, you wouldn't just purchase one, you would purchase several maybe you'd say, I want it to be 10 weeks long. I will set up a customized class. The course will be just what you say, like I have 8 weeks to do it. Duct tape DevOps, yes, absolutely. I've been a freelance software developer for a long time. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Internal, yes. Method chaining here. It's a very. I think it's useful. Okay. All right. What are we doing here? Sorry, I'm so distracted. I'm going to look away from chat for a little bit. If you really want me to see something, feel free to use the question command to add it in there. I need to focus here just for a second, get my brain back into what we're doing. So we're adding the options in here. Rather than being the option name, start and end, we could do, these are the things that are necessary. To do that. So taking the option name, the start and the end, we are going to construct the game option here. So the option name goes in this spot and the destination is the end. So to make this maybe a little bit more consistent, we could make this a destination. Like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that I need to have a mapping. This is someone recommended a hash map earlier. Beautiful. And we're going to go from the start here to our destination. So you can think of in C# it's called a dictionary. In Java, it's called a hash map. And there's in other places it's called a hash table. The idea is we are mapping our location beginning to a destination. So we can do the following. Dictionary. We have a key value pair. Key value pair. In this case, it's going to be a string, which happens to be our location. And then our target is going to be a game option. And I'm going to initialize this as a new dictionary during construction of our map builder. So get initialized here like that. Duct Tape DevOps, thank you so much for the follow. Duct Tape DevOps, what a sweet name. Welcome to the crew, my friend. Duct Tape DevOps, thank you so much for the follow. So indeed. All right. So we need to map this. This is a lot like an array. So if you used arrays, except dictionaries, we index by an object. In this case, we're going to index by a string. And what we can do is we can say options, and our start. This is our start here, like this. This looks way too much like TDD to be real. Yeah, I know, my friend. All right, so we're going to take that option and we're going to save it here as a string to a game options. And if you're seeing, hey, wait a minute, I see something wrong. You're probably right. You are seeing something wrong, but we're going to keep going for now. I rewrote my test. Is my test going to pass? Not yet. If we run this. Noteworthy, do not use doubles and floats you calculate as keys unless if you round them to a certain decimal. Yeah. So we're going to run this. It still fails, but now it's going to fail a little bit differently. Before it was failing on add options we haven't implemented it. Now it's failing down here when I try to get the option. It's saying it's not implemented. It's saying it's not implemented in our game options, right? So if we come over to our game, in our game map, the actual implementation of our game map here, it's not implemented. So we actually want to say, okay, well, given a location, I need to return an enumerable of the options that I have. So again, how do we get this to pass? Well, when I construct my game map, I need to actually have those options. So I'm actually going to make it take in can I make it a read-only dictionary? Read-only dictionary. And this is just me being a functional, saying like, well, I don't want to be able to modify this thing. And it doesn't really have to be read-only. It can be just a dictionary here. String. And then this is going to go to our game option here. Options, like this. Okay, and this is going to make it so one thing to remember, as you refactor, you're going to start getting errors as you go. Start getting errors as you go. So here we are. When we construct this thing, I can actually just pass this off, say options here. Notice my data types as I'm programming, I'm thinking about the data types and how they match. And then lastly, in our game map, we need to actually, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this thing. I'm going to create a copy of it. I might also just make a view of it. Why don't I, question, why don't I want to just use options itself? So I'm going to create a private field here. I'm going to create a private read only. Don't need to be, can I make it read only? I read only dictionary string to game option, like this, options. Okay, and then I can say here, options equals options. Why do I not want to make it this? Why do I want to make a copy and not make it a reference here? Why do I want to make it a copy and not a reference? There's a couple reasons. And then down here, if I have a reference to it, I can actually just return options of location like this, and it returns. And it's supposed to return an IEnumerable like that, all right? So there's this little bug that I was saying you might notice. A little bug you might notice when I do this thing. And really, this needs to be an IRead-only dictionary of IEnumerable game options. Okay, and now I'm not going to be able to make a copy like this. I'm going to have to propagate this around. Notice that fixed the type error down here, but now I have a type error here. I say, okay, well, really, why does this need to be an IEnumerable? Does anyone know why this has to be an IEnumerable? Why can't I just do a single thing here? String to an IEnumerable. Why do I want it to be multiple things from a location to multiple options. But I'm saying it out loud right here. I want to have multiple options at each location. We need to have multiple options at each location. We don't want just one option. So we're going to make it so we get this here. And we're going to do something. My bit rate. Are we back? Nope. How about now? How we doing? All right. We back? Are we back? Did we get a hiccup? Are we back? Yes, we're back in the action. Back in the action. Age Monkey, happy to have you here, my friend. Thank you for letting me know we're back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here on this beautiful Tuesday, folks. This absolutely gorgeous, beautiful Tuesday. Hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday. Okay, so I was asking, Smab, thank you for letting us know we're back. Happy to be back. Happy to be here. This options. Why do I want to make a copy of the options? What is the benefit? What am I trying to do with these options? It has to do with managing complexity. It has to do with managing complexity. And the issue is going to be if I don't make a copy, if this dictionary changes, the map will change. So it depends. Do I want my builder, if my builder changes, do I want the map associated to change? My mind, I'm thinking no, because I want things to be as read-only as possible, as immutable as possible. I don't want it to change later. So I'm actually gonna make a copy of this array. And there's a couple ways we can do it. I'm gonna write it as a for loop first. We're gonna do a for loop on this array to build it up. And then I'm gonna show you guys how, so I have to make it an actual dictionary to be able to do the copy here. All right, but we're gonna say for each key, so I wanna do a string location, IEnumerable game options in, location options, like this. I can iterate through the whole thing. So if I do a for each loop like this, this will allow me to loop through everything. Loop through all the key value pairs in my options here. Loop through the key value pairs in my options, and then pull those out. Pull those out and construct, make a copy of this dictionary here. So we're gonna make a copy of it. We're gonna say, I need to start out up here by saying, options equals new dictionary. So we actually construct it. And then all I'm gonna do is copy it around and say options at location. It's equal to location options.to array. We're gonna, again, make a copy of it. In C sharp, when you do the to methods, you got to know it makes a copy. That's a common idiom in C sharp, is if you have a method that says to something, it makes a copy of it. If you have a method that has an as something, it is a cast. It doesn't copy everything. It's saying treat this as a thing. To will actually do a copy, iterates through a whole thing. So we can build this up in this way. All right, let's run it, do my test pass. My test add options here. I have a compilation error, it looks like. Let's check it out. .NET build. I'm assuming into my map builder. I've changed my interface a little bit here. So let's go back to my map builder. Sure enough, options is a list here. So it needs to be an IEnumerable of this. I'm gonna actually make this a list of game options. Internally, it's gonna be a little bit easier for me. And what we can do is we can actually say, make this a new list. Like this. New list of string list game options. And there's going to be an issue here. It's going to be an issue here. We're going to make it a list like this. Why doesn't this one work? New list. List of game options like that. Right, we're making a list that has this one option in it. Options. Tell me it needs to be an IEnumerable. Shouldn't this work? IEnumerable like so. All right. Happy to do it this way. It makes a Thindle, good point. It makes a copy of the references. It makes a copy of the references. It'll be the same instant, yes, but luckily our game option happens to be an immutable thing as well, so it works out. Good point, Thindle. Excellent point. It makes a copy of the references within. Makes a copy of the references, not an actual copy of everything down. There's a struct. I mean, there's yes. Thank you. Let's see. Does this build? Will it build, folks? It does. All right. Let's refresh these. Let's try running our test now. See how we do. Did we do okay? I don't know. We're gonna find out though. These don't break, hopefully, and that'll hopefully give us kind of. All right. So our add option is now passing. And get status, get commit -m, feat implement add option. Okay. So we passed. We're following Grumpy Game Dev style. When the test passes, we push. We make a commit. I know things and I troll. It happens, Sindel. It happens things. I know the things and I troll. I like it. That's how we do. That's how it do. Okay, so add option here, like so. And we can generalize it as well. But one thing I want to do here, there's a bug. There is a test I'm gonna write that's going to expose something. All right, we're gonna test add multiple options. Test add multiple options. All right. We're gonna need multiple. So if Captain Coder has a death platform, from Captain Coder's Academy, we can also go to Hoboken, New Jersey, and Boshroom. So we're gonna take these, just pull these down here for my brain to be able to handle them. Ooh, wrong spot. So we're gonna write a test that's gonna fail. My brain to be able to remember these. All right, we're gonna add a location, Hoboken, New Jersey. Gonna add a location, Boss Room, like so. So this is our arrange. This is gonna be our act. We're gonna build multiple options here. Add options, and we're gonna be able to go from go to New Jersey. All right, and this is gonna go from Captain Coder's Academy to Hoboken, New Jersey. Okay. Add an option. All right. What is the option we want to add here? We're gonna go. What is the from Captain Coder's room? We can do go fight boss. All right. This can go from Captain Coder's Academy to our boss room, like so. So we're gonna have multiple options. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4 locations, and these are the locations it should contain. I'm going to copy these down here, just copying the strings. It might make sense to locations that should contain New Jersey, map.locations.should contain boss room, like that. Okay, now our options from Captain Coder's Academy, we should have 3 options, should be 3. And it should contain each one of these. So we're gonna duplicate this code and modify a little bit. All right, so from Captain Coder's Academy, we're gonna copy this text here, go to New Jersey. And go to New Jersey should go to Hoboken, New Jersey. Is that how we pronounce Hoboken? Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. Is it Hoboken? Is it Hoboken or Hoboken? Hoboken. I don't know. Look. If we fight the boss, we're gonna go to the boss room here, like so. All right. Boss room. So these are the assertions. So remember, arrange, act, assert. Triple A. Thindle, thank you so much for telling us about triple A here. I love it. I'm loving it. All right, so we arrange, we act, and we assert. We arrange, we act, and then we assert. Let's run this test here. And I'm going to say that this test will fail, and it's going to fail. I believe it's going to tell us that It should contain this game option, but does not. It's going to tell us that this option does not exist, is my guess. And the reason is because each time in my map builder, I create a new list with only one thing in it. Welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. So let's run these. And let's see, test add multiple options, what it fails as, and let's see where we failed. Ooh, I was wrong. Test should be 1, should be 3, but was 1. And again, this the reasoning is the same reason. In my builder, I create a new list every time. I create a new list every time. And so what's going on here is when we add a location. Oh, do I want another A? What about an A plus then? Can I get an A plus? When we add a location, we want to actually create that entry in our dictionary. So we do locations. Options. Options at location. It's going to be equal to a new list of game options. So rather than creating it when we add the option, we're actually going to create one here. Arrange, assume, that's for the precondition. That's quad A. Quad A doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely though. And so what we're going to do now is we have this is where I wanted this to be a list a little bit. So if I make this a list, things start breaking. I want to say, okay, in this case, we're going to add this. I would like to be able to add my game option in here. Add my game option like this. Add my game option. I can't do it on a generic enumeral. If I make this a list, now I can do it. And then down here, it's saying like, hey, by the way, this thing is broken. This thing is broken. Kiriel, thank you for following me today. Kiriel, welcome to the Captain Coder's Academy. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. You ever get the feeling of doom when you're at work? Kovalaki, that sounds terrible and frustrating, my friend. I'm so sorry about that. I'm sorry if you're feeling doom at work. I have in the past, I've had doom jobs. It's why, for me, it's why I became a freelancer. I couldn't, so Kovalaki, I worked at a call center for a whole, I think 2 days, maybe 3. I might have made it to the 3rd day. I went to the training. Then I did 1 day of a call center and was like, this, I cannot, the doom, the sinking doom. And that is what, and then I was like, I can't do that. And then I started freelancing. That is like why I started freelancing, only at work. Oof. Kiriel, so nice to meet you. Welcome to the crew. Okay. So when we build, I need to translate. Even though list happens to be an IEnumerable, it like doesn't want as enumerable. Does that not let me do that? What does as enumerable do? Cannot convert from IEnumerable. This is interesting. I'm surprised by this here. I'm really curious I'm curious if this will work. What is the exception I'm getting here? Cannot convert. What is the type that my thing is looking for? It's looking for an I read-only dictionary. Hang on. If I make this a dictionary, is it happy to do this? I'm a little bit confused right now. If I'm reading this error, there's a typing issue. So where in C# we have a statically typed, which means the compiler needs to be able to make sense of these things. And it's saying it cannot convert a dictionary from string to list of game options to a string of enumerable game options. And part of this like kind of makes sense. I'm surprised it can't do that because this is an IEnumerable. If I were to look at lists, list is an IEnumerable of this type. I'm surprised the polymorph. I don't understand why the polymorphism won't allow this to work. I want to be able to add things to it. Master Chaos, I understand, like, I did this intentionally. I'm surprised that that polymorphism doesn't let us do this. Dictionary list doesn't work since it can't keep the key. Well, I want this type here. The type of my constructor is this. I could change this to a list, right? I could change this to a list here. This will solve our issues. And maybe I just do that. Say, hey, this happens to have to be a list. It doesn't have to be an IEnumerable. I'm just surprised that polymorphism can't do it. Yeah, I'm surprised that the compiler can't figure out that it can do it. This is why I was trying to cast it as a dictionary of string to IEnumerable of game option. So basically it's saying it can't do this as for me. It can't figure out how to do that. Can I force it? It doesn't let me do this either. So it's like, nope, not gonna let you, not gonna happen. Yeah, list implements IEnumerable. If you can't add, then just say var opt options, like that. I can't change this to a var though. I can't change this to a var because it is a field. That's not going to work because as enumerable, it's a dictionary. It needs to be a dictionary, not an enumerable. Right? What does the signature of as enumerable say? It becomes, the whole dictionary becomes an enumerable. Yeah. So I could redefine this, right, to be some kind of enumerable. There's some typing things here that are a little bit tricky. It would require me to change this to an IEnumerable of sort of like key value pairs, which I could do. I could do that. For simplicity, for moving forward, dictionary of IEnum, and then when the option from the dict typecast is a list, Master Chaos is saying to do this, IEnumerable like that. And then we say this. This is an interesting idea. As list of game option. We could do that. What is it complaining about saying could be null? Okay. We could do this. Okay. All right. We could do this. This is one option. Let's test it. Does it run? Do we get a crash? FCG, welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy Tuesday. FCG, Dayeb, Twitch, welcome to the crew. It feels really hacky. I would like to find, I don't like it, but we're saying, hey, I know for sure this is the thing. Strong, welcome back to the stream, my friend. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Strong, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world, my friend. So nice to have you back with us on this beautiful Tuesday. All right, so we have tried with is instead of that. Is will return a Boolean. Is will return a Boolean, Thindle. I believe it'll return a Boolean. No worries, Strong. You do what you gotta do. It's just so nice to see you. Late. Well, thank you so much. You're making me blush. I appreciate that. Yeah, is will give us back a bool. This one is doing a cast. Could I do as list? No, I can't do an as list because it doesn't know for sure how to do that. Interesting. I would like to find a slightly better way to do that. All right, our test pass, get status, get add, get status, get commit, chore, implement multiple options per room. Okay, so we have multiple options per location. Beautiful. Beautiful, my friends. Okay, so we have that. What can we do? All right, so let's come back to, let's write an actual, so we have our test, we have our test passing. The tests don't tell us our code is correct. Our tests give us confidence that it's working in the way that we expected. Only testing those things, but check it out. We're gonna write a little thing here to write a little text adventure on like moving around our rooms in this way. All right, so this is a nice little graph that we've put together. And so we're gonna build it out. We're gonna build it out, people. Here we go. We're gonna build out a little map. We're gonna draw it here. Help me draw out a map. Drawing out a map. Where is my remarkable? No longer active. Come on. Where is? I lost my pen. Oh, there it is. Message, override game map instructor, rewrite your add work to with all items. Yeah, so there's some things I need to, if I want it to work. Here's the thing, I don't have to worry too much about it because this is all internal, right? So I'm actually okay doing this. The way I did it, I think is fine. This constructor is internal. I can swap it out sort of however I want, and it's not going to affect the external world. It might affect a little bit in someone reading it, but it doesn't affect the external world, so it's kind of okay. Just forget about polymorph and just work with lists. Master Chaos, that's the easy solution, is just work with lists. That's the easiest solution in my mind. It's internal, just work with lists, it's gonna be fine. All right, we're gonna write a little tiny game world that we can navigate around in. We're gonna write a little engine to play it. Let me open up this graphs thing real quick, bear with me here, folks. And you guys can help me decide. Did I just break? I think I might have turned it off again. Let's accept here. All right, so we're gonna write a little map here. What are some different places we can go? That sort of thing. And then we're gonna refactor it a little bit to make it a little bit better. But all right. So here's what I always like to do: like cave entrance. All right, cave entrance, and we're gonna have left is an option, right as an option. Okay, so we're gonna build this up, and so we'll call this dark or dead end. All right, and this one can come back here, return. So it's gonna be return to entrance. Okay, our right side here, we're gonna fall into a pit. All right, you've fallen into a pit, so there's no path back to the entrance. There's no path back to the entrance. You fall into a pit, but from the pit, we can get up. So there's some other paths here. We can, lay down or give up. We'll have a give up, and give up just goes to end. And then the other, there's just a little simple map. What we can do, give up in the pit. What else can we do in the pit? Eat dirt like that, and it'll go to some other options. So we're going to build a little map here. We're going to show how you could use a graph data structure to build this map, and we're going to find, location as a string is not quite complex enough to meet our needs. Our rooms are going to need like descriptions and that sort of thing. Okay, so we can come in here. Instead of vector list, use some data structure or class with all the options needed for the game map. Master Castellega, that's what we're going to find. We're going to find that, hey, we can actually implement this directly as a data structure. So locations are going to become our nodes. Excellent. Master Chaos, exactly. That's exactly what is what can happen here. But we can do this. All right, so we have a map builder. Builder equals new map builder. Okay, and then we'll do our game map equals, and we're gonna be, but you'll be able to see, we'll be able to swap it out. We're gonna be able to swap it out without doing much additional work. Add location. So we have a couple locations to add. We have cave entrance, and to make my life, and then .build at the end. Okay. To make my life a little bit easier. These are called magic strings. We don't want to do magic strings. So I'm going to create a set of constants here. I'm going to create some globals for us to use. So we're going to have a string cave entrance. so that when I reference it, I'm not going to make a mistake and type out cave entrance wrong. We're just going to link these together, string, cave entrance, like that. You need a grimoire indeed. Cave entrance, dead end, string, we have pit, string, we have game over, string, we have I said eat dirt, but we'll call it tunnel. Okay, so we can use these to actually construct and build these together. So we have cave entrance, add location, dead end, add location, pit, add location, game over, add location, tunnel. Right, so these are the different ways we can build this thing up, and we're going to find that managing the complexity as we go, the programming is all about managing the complexity. We're going to find that this starts becoming slightly complex. Add options. All right, maybe it should be called add option. We're going to say option name and go left like this, and this is going to be from our cave entrance. From our cave entrance, if we go left, this can go to a dead end. Add options. If we go right from our cave entrance, we end up in our pit. Add options. Okay, from our dead end, return to entrance. Cave entrance. So it goes from our dead end to our cave entrance. Add options. If we are now in our pit, we can lay down and die. And this goes from our pit to game over. Add options. From our pit, we can also stand up. All right. And stand up will end up we'll go from our pit to our tunnel. So notice we can build up our map like this, and we get an IMAP back. We have our IMAP here. We're going to say that we start at our entrance. So we're going to write a little program that says, given our entrance, print the ops. We're going to have this sort of this infinite loop here. We're going to say, well, we'll start out with string location equals cave entrance. Our locations are cave entrance. So we're going to say, well, our location is not equal to game over. Game over. This is our game loop. Well, we're not at the end of the game. The game isn't over. We're going to say console.writeLine, location, and then we're going to display our current location. Like this. So we have our location. Then we need to display all of our options. All of our options. We're going to say for each string option in, and we're going to get that from our map.options for our current location. Given our location, get all of the options. What is this complaining about? For each connect for it's a game option. Game option here. Okay. Get all of our options. We're going to display these. Console.writeLine. And we're just going to say the option.name. Right? So these are the different options we have. We can even list them out and say like 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that would be useful. Option. This is the option we have here. And then the player has to type something in. Player is going to have to type something in. Do I want to make it? I think it might be easier to get this back and do it as an array. So we can like print it out in the order, in the correct order. So I do care about the order here in the list of options. So I'm going to set this to our game options array, options equals, and we're going to pull out our options this way to array. So we're going to turn it to an array so that we can iterate through it. And then when the user will pick an option, right? So I want to display option 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to use a traditional for loop to print out the options. So for int ix equals 0, ix is less than options dot length, options plus plus, ix plus plus. And we're going to say the following. We're going to say ix plus 1 So they're going to be our options, and then we'll do options at ix of option. All right, so we're going to print a number and then the option, and then we're going to ask the user to enter a number. All right, so we're going to read the user input in. We're going to use that to decide what to do. So let's do a little run here. So to our graphs here, just see .NET run. Let's make sure it builds. Let's make sure it runs. Let's get something out. Hopefully we'll get something out here. Oh no, we got an infinite loop. We do. That's kind of what we wanted. I have to wait for the user to enter something. All right, so console dot write what do, and then the user will have to enter console dot read line. Okay, let's try that. So location can't enter, we go left, we can go right. What do doesn't do anything. We press something and it goes back to the top. So the idea is we're going to use what the user typed in to go ahead and get the option and update our location. Update our location based on that. So basically I'm going to write a little method. I'm going to write a little helper that'll ensure that we can only select the options here. So I'm going to write a game option get choice. So we're going to take in an array of options. An array of options here. We're going to display them like this. And so now we're going to do get choice on map.options location.toArray. We're going to get the choice. We're going to read the line, and what we're going to do is we're going to say if, oh, we need to turn that into, hang on. We need to turn that into an integer, int.try parse. We're going to read this in, and we're going to do an out here, int choice. This will be true if we were able to parse an int. It'll be false otherwise. So we'll say if this is valid. Right, I'm going to say if it's not valid. So this will be false if the user types something in that's not a valid choice. So if it's not a valid choice, we're gonna display a method console.writeLine. Please select a invalid option. Right, and then we're gonna say, well, actually, we're just gonna call get choice again. We're gonna call them get choice again. So when we get the choice, we're gonna display our choices and say, what do you do? We're gonna read that choice in. If that choice is not an integer, so they typed in banana or something, it's gonna say invalid option, and then it's gonna say get choice again. So it ends up going back, it recurses, it loops. Recursion is just a way to loop. It says, go ahead and do that again. If we make it to this point, the user typed an integer. What do we need to check here? We actually need to make sure that the integer they typed in is one of the valid indices. Can we use this one? Faisal92, thank you so much for the follow. Faisal92, welcome to the academy. Faisal, thank you so much for the follow. Happy Tuesday, hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, so the user typed in an integer. We want to check, is it a valid integer? So if choice, this is the variable that they entered, choice. And I like to do pre-get, we're checking is if it's less than 1, so we start at the option as 1. If it's less than 1, or choice is greater than options.length, right? So if we have 2 options and they type in 3, it's not a valid choice. We're gonna say invalid options, and then ask them again. Right? So then we ask them again. At this point, we know they entered a valid option, right? So we check, did they enter something wrong? What is the condition? Did they enter something wrong here? Did they enter something wrong here? Finally, if they've entered the correct choice, we can return options at the choice they selected. Our indices are off by 1. Our indices start at 0 and we're displaying the number 1 and up, so we actually have to subtract by 1. We have to do that conversion. Notice I'm adding 1 here, which means at the end of the day, I'm going to have to subtract 1 here to get the choice back. All right, so get choice here. We're reading in the user input, we're getting it back. Now we have our game option. So we wrote a little helper method that said, I know I need to get a choice from the user. I know I need to get a choice from the user. I want to guarantee that choice is valid. So this is a validator. You know, validate, get choice. It's ensuring, it's enforcing the user enters valid inputs. Now that we have the option, we actually know the destination. We know where we're going. So we can actually say location equals destination. So we update our location to the next thing. And that's our whole game loop. It's kind of a dumb game loop, but that's our whole game loop, using our graph. We display our location, we display our options. These are edges. So this is our node. These are our edges. And then we display, and then we say get a thing and update it. So we traverse. We're traversing our graph. Let's run it. Will it build? Will it run? All right. So I can go left. I'm at a dead end. I have one option to return to the entrance. I can keep going back and forth here. I can go back and forth. If I type in banana, I end up in this part here. It did not parse. If I type in 7, it's not a valid option. It just says go left, go right. All right, so now I can go right. I'm then in a pit. I can lay down and die, or I can stand. If I stand up, I am in a tunnel. There's no options here. I can't do anything. Let's get back there. Go right, lay down and die. Our program exits because our condition was if our location is not game over, we just keep looping forever. All right, a nice simple example of how we can use a graph to create a small game where you can navigate around. You can sort of navigate back and forth, move between different locations. Our locations only say a thing. So we have this small issue here where our locations are not particularly interesting. We just have a string location and then there's like no description. We could add in, how could we extend? Let's do a commit here. We're running out of time. Hit status. What if they enter a float? Control doesn't work? Oh, good question. Let's run it. What do we think? Dorantel or Dorforantel? I think it's Dorantel. Good question. Good question. What if they type in a float? Let's look at our code here. We'll do it. We're gonna do it. Let me pull this to the side so we can have the code and the console sort of next to each other. Shrink that down here. Let's look at our program. What do we think's going to happen? This is the code that's handling the user. This is our user input handler. Here's our user input handler. We've displayed these things. What do? This is the one in question. This is the code in question here. What will this code do if we try to parse in a float? So int.tryparse. Let's go read the documentation for this. Let's read the documentation. I'll pull it down here. So we have all sorts of crazy. Come on. I believe in you. Try parse. Converts the string representation of a number to its 32-bit signed integer equivalent. So it's going to say take a string and return it to an integer. A return value indicates whether the conversion was successful. So it's going to return true. This will return true if it's able to do it, and false otherwise. So we could even do this. We could say is false. You can say if we try to parse and it's false, that's an invalid option. So if I type in a float here, will this be true or false? Is a float an integer? Is a float an integer? So if I do 7.2, it's not. 7.2 is not. So the question is, if I do 7.0, 1.0, can this be parsed? So this is an interesting question here. Wavy, I'm so sorry, I got you there. I thought you're, it caught the link. No worries. Wavy posted this question. Thank you for that. I don't know if it's going to enqueue it. It's the link. The links will get you. One sec. Permit. You have to be here for like a couple hours and then it'll let you post links. Feel free to post that question again. I'll get to it at the end before we wrap up. Folks, if anyone has questions, feel free to do it in the questions. I actually don't know if this will parse as an integer. This is a really good, I don't know. This is an excellent question. Points, add Doriantal, I'm sorry. 100, this is a great point, 250 points, because I don't know the answer. We have to explore this. I know the answer if I did 1.2. It's not going to work. I don't know what's going to have to do 1.0. It says, does 1.0 get parsed as an integer? It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. So today I learned TIL. Today I learned, this is a new thing we learned, the more you know. 1.0 with int.tryparse will not parse. That's excellent to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. What if I do 1.0 like that? Okay. What if I do 0, 0, 1? See, that's interesting. 0, 0 underscore 1. It won't do it with the underscores. Okay. So there's some interesting things here. I like it. All right. So I learned something new today. Doranto, thank you so much for asking your beautiful question. All right, folks, we're just out of time today. We're going to do some questions. If you have questions, feel free to post them in there. We'll get them in. I'll try and answer all your questions before we hop off today. But we've been going for 3 hours. I'm going to get a commit in here. Get status. Put this back down here. I was in the middle of doing a commit, I believe. Get status, get add, get commit -m, chore, implement, small game loop example. You could expand this further, of course. Ghost Killax, could you ask that on the questions? I'm gonna chat a little bit. Depends on your current. Oh, that makes sense, Mab. That makes sense. Can you use the question command just so I don't forget to get back to you, Ghost Killax? So I want to do a little bit. I want to promote a little bit here, folks. Thursday, so Captain Coder here. I stream Tuesday, Thursday, and then on the weekends, usually 1 or 2 days. Thursday, we will be back next Tuesday with more game dev. Be sure to join on the Discord if you want to find out when things are happening. Tuesday is going to be more data structures and algorithms. Thursday is game dev. I don't know exactly. I kind of want to see if I can implement a small rhythm game. So I've been playing Dance Dance Revolution. And it turns out I can't play Dance Dance Revolution on stream. So because of copyright music, you can't play GarageBand. So look, I've been playing Dance. I'm a dancer. Not really. I like rhythm games a lot. MSD Ubuntu, you would have to do a little bit different. You can turn the music off. Yeah. So there were some things I don't think it'd be very fun to watch without the music. There was a couple issues I ran into. Anyway, Smab, you're absolutely right. We could do it that way. It's a little bit different to do it MDS. You're a dance dancer. That's right. I'm a dance dancer. I'm a dance dance revolutionary. That said, I kind of think it'd be fun to implement a prototype, just like a little bit. It's not going to be a full-blown rhythm game, but I think it might be fun to make a rhythm game and then sort of play it. I have this idea for a rhythm game. Anyway, on Thursday, I think we're going to be implementing a very, very simple prototype for a rhythm game. So every Thursday's game dev, I call it mechanically challenge, where we try and implement a game mechanic. So Thursdays, game dev, Thursdays, Tuesdays, data structure and algorithms, Saturday, Sunday, usually something fancy. If you get on the Discord, there's a schedule. This Sunday, folks, Farron's Cabinet over on Farron's channel. We're going to be doing a talented artist, streamer, amazing human being. They are an aspiring indie game developer. We're going to be doing a live coding lesson. Last Sunday of every month, live coding lesson. Captain Coder teaches Farron. We will be on Sunday. If you want to know the time in your local time, it'll show it on the Discord. You come over to the Discord, scroll to the top, you click on events. It'll show it in your local time. So Sunday we'll be doing that. And then we're going to be doing, every Saturday, Sunday we do something cool. But yeah, Tuesday, data structures, Thursday, game dev. We will be back. We will be back on the Thursday here. 1 second. Bear with me just a second here. All right, folks. Yeah, every Tuesday, Thursday, I'll be here. Let's look at your question. If you have a question, please use the question command to queue it up. And we'll do our best to get to you before we have to hop off here. Doranto, thank you for following me today. I appreciate you following me. All right. We had a question. I'm trying to get some tile into Unity. Okay, so you're using this cute platform. Let's open this bad boy up here. Let's get this link. Let me open this up. You're trying to get this into Unity. Platformer tiles. Okay. All right, platformer tiles. And it says, and I'm following a guide on how to do it, but for some reason, when I drag it into the tile palette, it crams it all into one grid. Any ideas? So you're downloading random.png here. I bet you have to slice it. I bet, well, we'll see. You're gonna wanna slice this up. You wanna slice it up. So we have this. Let's go back into Unity. Let's do a sample scene here. Sample scene, thank you for asking your question. Let's go into our scene here. We're gonna see if we can do this live. Create a new scene here. This is gonna be our tile slicing. Tile slicing. Okay, go ahead and save this up. And we're gonna hop in, take a look here. And create, I have my assets folder, sprites, and this is gonna be called our random. I think that was what it's called, random there. So did I download that? I thought I downloaded it. Let's try download again. Download. Open in my folder. All right, now we got our random download here. And we're gonna bring that in. So I'm gonna drag it into Unity. Drag it into Unity. And so now we have our sprite. And so let me switch to 2D mode here. By default, our sprites are all one thing. So if I drag this in, I have some slice thing turned on. Let's reset. I have like a default slicing thing going on here. One sec. None. It's imported in a weird way. So by default, hang on, let's go back. This should be single 100. By default, this is sort of what it is. If I try and drag this image in, it's gonna be one big sprite altogether. One big sprite altogether. All right. We need to adjust this to have multiple sprites. So I want this to be a multiple. This will allow me to slice it into multiple sprites. We're gonna do slice here. I'm gonna open up our sprite editor, and you'll notice mine is set up to slice in an interesting way. Let's click automatic and hit slice. The automatic one's gonna slice it into these chunks. These, if we want them to be a tile map, we have to slice it a little bit differently. So this picture that we've selected is not the most conducive for slicing. So you have these guys left over, have this other. So one of the challenges with downloading from OpenGameArt is you probably need to break this down into a separate image file so that it can slice a little bit more nicely. So now I have these. I can actually pull these in separately now. But this whole chunk is a different slice, right? So I'm gonna have to slice this up in a different way. And so I'm gonna, this one's a little tricky. So I have to do some stuff with probably GIMP. GIMP would be my first choice, GIMP. And so that's something you could use. The GIMP is a free image manipulation program, the GNU image manipulation program. And so we could use this to pull out the chunks that we want here. So in this case, let's see if we can get a little bit better here. I lost my sprite, my external. Let me open that up again. Sorry, bear with me. Open this again. Let's put our random in here. BitGamey, how we doing, my friend folks? The incredible BitGamey, amazing streamer. Go check him out. BitGamey, I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Happy to have you here. So really, these things are causing us a little bit of an issue here. So I'm gonna actually take these guys out. I'm gonna take this tree out as well. So you got it as a game dev, and I'm not saying I'm a game dev, but as a game dev, you kind of have to be a little bit multi capable to be able to get these things work. So we have that. I'm gonna move this chunk so it's closer. All right. So I'm gonna move this chunk so it's a little bit closer here. If I hit Control in GIMP, it lets me slide it over so that's touching here. And I'm gonna use this new image to hopefully slice a little bit better. Here. And I'm gonna crop it out like this. All right, so I'm using the crop tool, try and crop it as close as I can. And I'll notice 128 by 64, this helps me decide my tile size. Here. I'm glad you're doing good, Big Gaming. I'm having a beautiful morning, my friend. We're gonna re-export this as random tiles, like this. And so now I should be able to slice it a little bit better than I did previously. And I keep closing my window over here, but give me a second here. I'll pull this up. I'm still very impressed when I see pixel art. Pixel art, oh man, art. Anytime I see art, I'm impressed. I'm no artiste. That combined image was 5 tiles. Is that okay? I think that's correct. I'm trying to get to my downloads here. All right, so now I have this random tiles. I made this because I want this to slice a little bit easier. My multiple here, it's a multiple slice here. I'm gonna sprite edit, and I want it to slice grid cell count. All right, so I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and I think it's 3. Let's try 3 here. Not quite 3. Is it just 2? There we go. I think. All right. 128 by 64. So we have 2 down like that. Let's go ahead and apply this. And now we've sliced it out, so we should be able to use this a little bit more as a tile map. All right. So now we have these slides. Let's go ahead and hit save here. We can pull these out into our world a little bit big. I'm going to adjust this. Let's go with 32. So now we have these. If I were to create a tile map and add it to a tile map itself, I could do it like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. All right. Wavy, I hope that kind of answered your question. It's that you might even be able to do it on this one. I wonder if we can we slice this cell size 64 by 64 slice, 32 by 32 slice. So it's like this image isn't set up if you do 30 by 32, it slices these things kind of correct. This image unfortunately isn't set up to be sliced. It actually seemed to slice fine with these ones, but it doesn't capture these ones properly. So there's some challenges here with this particular image. It's not set up to be sliced immediately and easily. So you kind of have to adjust your setup that way. I hope that answered your question. Let's see, what was our other question here? Let's pull this up. We have, oh, I saw the question coming. I botched something here. There it is. Killac says, what's your opinion on VAR? Do you use it for better education here on stream or in general not? Great question, Ghost Killa. I kind of dislike VAR. Let's take a look at it real quick. I like, and I think this is because I use Java, or I come from the Java world. I like to see my type on the left side. I like to know what it is. And in general, the benefit of using var is it makes it, I do use it in iterations when my type on the right side is rather complex, or if I'm constructing something. I think it is useful, but I personally find it easier to look at my data type and know the value on the left side. And I often will do the right side with the new. The other thing is you can't do, the one other reason I don't like it is you can't use it on fields. So you can't do this. So when you're a field, you have to specify the type. Okay. So that is one spot where I kind of don't like it, is you have to specify the type like that. You can only use it when you're in local scope, right? So I could do this. I could do a var like this. And then the right side defines it. This is nice if you need to swap out the thing on the right. Ideally, it doesn't affect your code later. There's some, and it uses type inferences to figure out. So I don't think it matters that much. My preference is to use the type on the left side and use just new on the right side. And I think this just comes from me programming in Java, C-like languages for so long, where you declare the value type on the left side. You declare your types on the left side. So that's just my opinion. I think it's fine to do. I see a lot of people do it. I think a lot of people prefer it that way. It does make it easier to swap these things out on the right side. But in my mind, it's like the intention is important. And if you want to be use polymorphism, I say use a polymorphic type on the left side. D8, E8. Thank you for following me today. Thank you so much for the follow, D8, E8. I have OIT set as an error in my code. Oh, you have it set, I think, as an error code. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it makes the code harder to read, in my opinion. Exactly, Smap. So oftentimes with iteration, I will use it. And complex types. When I'm doing stuff with link, I find it very helpful because I often am swapping things out. So I will use it with link very frequently. All right, folks, we made it. I will be back on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you had a beautiful morning. You made my morning beautiful. We will be back on Thursday. We'll be doing game dev Thursday, folks. Doing game dev on Thursday. Let's go see who we can raid. Wavy, I'm glad you enjoyed your time here. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us this morning. We are gonna go raid. Let's see, Jackie Codes. Gonna go raid Jackie Codes, doing some coding. We're gonna raid Jackie Codes, folks. Incredible programmer, game dev. Raid Jackie Codes. Jackie Codes. We love Jackie Codes. Let's go make sure Jackie Codes is actually not on break or anything. Yeah, Jackie Codes has been only an hour. Yeah, she's going for a little bit. She usually goes for a while. We're gonna raid Jackie Codes, folks. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a beautiful morning. As always, keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be, and you are welcome back anytime. We'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.